And with that, the time for the Auroraverse is now. Let us welcome ourselves to the likes of this next D&D session. But for some reason, the camera is in the shadow realm. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Hello everybody, welcome to the stream today. My name is SenseiSuplex, aka Key Thompson. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. We got an awesome epic session for each and every single one of you guys. For some reason, the camera has like a little vignette thing, or however you pronounce it. It's kind of like around the borders. I don't know why. But hey, we're gonna deal with it. That being said, I hope you guys are ready for epic D&D session with Valley of Dreams, aka the Voden Knights. No announcements today besides tomorrow. Or actually, no, we're actually supposed to release it today, so I'm going to make an announcement. We're going to delay actually the World Anvil sort of, how you say, drop. And we're going to post that all tomorrow, Tuesday, probably early in the morning. We're going to do a whole @everyone and all that stuff. Instagram filters, I guess so. But yeah, so stay tuned for the World Anvil drop for the mini project and more. Besides that, no giveaway today. We're done with giveaways. Yesterday was the last one, so hopefully we can. I'll probably ask Smith through Armory to see if they want to do giveaways in the future, and they most likely will from what we were talking about, but no promises as usual. So yeah, go check that out in a bit. And also, I guess go check out the Instagram as we posted a couple of pictures of the dice, because they actually sent me the Dragonheart dice that was on the Kickstarter little thing for the longest. And yeah, they also sent me an awesome little tank top that's pretty cool. So you can go check out their or their store at mithril.armory.com. And without further ado, let's go. Oh, last sort of thing, we're streaming over on YouTube, so hey, if you want to help support, feel free to lurk in both the YouTube channel as well as this sort of channel. All right. So let's swap on over. Bam. There we go. All right, let's unmute. Let's see what they're talking about.
Chipmunk got me.
You.
Never in my life would I think a chipmunk would take a whole day away from me.
Bro, that's just Mal's cousin, bro. Just Mal's cousin.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
cousin on some other.
Speaking of which, we actually got some new art for Mal that thing finally came in, and it is looking crazy. I had Majal wanted to keep it a secret for y'all for the time being, so you can check that out. So eventually, in time, you guys can you'll see Hannibal, Trog, and all those other individuals getting art one at a time. And hey, if you ever want to hit up Majal for a commission, he's the guy to go to. All right, but I think he might be full of commissions, but you might want to check him out afterwards. Other than that, how's it going, everybody?
Great. I always wondered, Trog is one of the only people you're like, man, he's still here. He's made it. That boy made it.
You made it. I don't know how he is alive, but hey.
Which character was that in Final Fantasy VII for you?
Yo, bruh. He's what's the big cat in Final Fantasy X?
The big cat. No, what was that cat's name, bro?
Yo, he never joined the party, bro. Never joined the party.
It's like, oh, you got to split up into 3 parties, but why Final Fantasy? Why? Square Enix, we don't need 3 parties.
I was not leveling everybody up appropriately. It was not happening. That shit wild.
Hard butt over here. Got this over here. Nope, it should be this one. There you go. All right, y'all. Everybody loaded into Foundry. No issues there, right?
Should be good.
All right. If that's the case, let me just make sure this is correct. And with that, everybody, let's do this. So, bot, can you start playing the music? There we go. So, if I could have each and every one of you all gather around the table and let me tell you all a Voden fable. The likes of a tale of these survivors, and the tale of a looming corruption, and that of a jaded destiny. For this be the infamous tale of the Valley of Dreams, and the legendary tale of the Soul Bound. For that, previously, the Voden Knights would scrap the metal Hydra in a strange laboratory below the likes of Voden. Upon doing so, investigating the environment, Mao would discover that there was a control panel containing video logs of the past, possibly previous cycles of Voden. Upon discovering they'd find a senior engineer of Nazgul specialties, and here he'd explain the reason for the construction of these mechanical beasts. But upon going into information on why the sky would crack every day and night, and further information regarding this frozen hell, the transmission would corrupt. With that, our heroes would discuss what they'd do with the likes of the red triangle mark in the transmission they received, specifically from Secrets in the Sands. Revolving around an individual questioning their past, it'd be Nephiba Morga and our Voden Knights considering her situation and amnesia. Ultimately, they decide not to disclose information over the mark as it proved potentially dangerous. For that, our heroes would return home back to the Mushroom Village. Upon returning, they'd enter the new war room and get ready to conduct business. But what business it will be, well, we'll have to find out in session 14 of Valley of Dreams. On that, my friends, let us pick back up exactly where we left off, and let's go straight towards the war room. Also, a couple of people were saying audio was low. It should be fixed by now. Let me know if it isn't, though. Alright, let's send you guys over to here. Let me know if it loads in just 1 second. And boom. So I think I mentioned this before, yeah. So we're going to be using, since you guys wanted this map so much. Oh, man. So I updated it with all the sort of Myconid tokens and all that good stuff. But also on top of that, what we're going to be using it for, because it doesn't have the arena and it doesn't have your houses, right? It is basically whenever you want to go to your houses to have a discussion or whatever you need to do, then I'll switch on over to those maps. Same thing with the arena as well. Make sense?
Good with me.
Cool.
Alrighty. So with that, let me just pull up this thing. Hold on 1 second. This thing needs to load, and I don't want this to mess up over here. I think this one should work though. Alright, P stop. Still getting used to this bot, but I think we got it. Nah, hold on. Give me 1 second, fellas. It wants to act a little bit dumb and slow. I just need one song. Come on. Alright, in the meantime, you guys can look over your character sheets and look over your notes, anything that you need to sort of prepare for, or whatever you're trying to sort of plan for when it comes to this session. That way you can have a plan and be ready to go. Alright, I think we're good now. There you go. So, as we pick back up where we left off, Azora, you were the last one to sort of enter into this establishment, into the war room after talking to Keeper Raya. This individual mentioned that the Keeper of the Past would no longer be serving you, as he was elsewhere for the time being. Also mentioning that he wouldn't rarely ever need to speak to you all, as your souls remain active for the most part. But with that, you'd notice as he vanishes amongst the wind, providing a little bit of information regarding what this tournament may have, as well as what or how you could unlock further potential of the Sage Marks. As you enter into the war room, you look to find all of your allies and more, such as Zaman, Trog, Hannibal, Agni, Mal, Korra, and Gore. However, where the hell is Adidart? Where is his token?
I was sprinting back because I wasn't gonna ride on any mechanical owls without some convincing, and we didn't have time to RP it, so I was like, I'm just gonna gallop.
That's right.
Until we all know why I didn't ride a mechanical owl. We all know.
It's all coming back to me. Now, with that, as you all are sort of gathering forth, sitting at your respective sort of chairs and seats, or standing if you wish, seems to be that one of your individuals seems to have upgraded their attire just ever so slightly. As let's look over towards this individual. You don't need that token art anymore. Boop. There we go. So I will show off this little new Mao art for each and every one of you. Again, drawn by Madraw. So if you guys want to ever hit him up for commissions, then he is the person to do so. And bam.
Yes, sir. Now we don't have to see the shame of that duck anymore.
Yep. Oh man.
Like Gore's fault, but yeah.
I wanted to.
That
I'll go.
Whole
I was gonna
facts,
say.
bro.
I was gonna
My
say
joints wasn't hitting that time.
that bag is massive.
It is. It
There's
is.
no way he should be carrying that.
You would think that man would have like 20 strength or something, but you really don't. You really don't.
I don't know. I saw him take it on the chin last session versus that Hydra.
Yeah.
He got some strength to him.
It's all about how he carried that weight. That's what it is.
Oh man. So with that, you guys are all gathering around the table. What would you guys like to discuss or talk about in this moment in time?
Gore just kind of is sitting on the table and sort of like almost like he's muttering to himself, eyes closed.
I guess out of character, I don't remember what we were talking about right before the end of the session.
You weren't talking about necessarily anything. You were just sort of gathering up towards the war room, kind of to see what's going on and also discuss any tactics that you kind of need to think about for plans in the future. Things that you can talk about is, well, the whole thing of how that, well, excuse me, since you guys heard the message from the voice and the end of the world is apparently coming soon, you can always discuss how you're going to go about that, what tasks need to be handled up front and first, as well as you have this new sort of potential threats in the likes of the Zhao dynasty having an outpost not too far from here. Lastly, there is the big tournament that is coming up, and you guys can all discuss the information or ask questions about that and how that's going to go. Or if there's anything else you need to discuss while you all are here before you all decide to sort of split off, now's pretty much the time.
Azora will start off by saying, "This room shall serve as well." And then she'll look at everybody and say, "Well, now that we've got the opportunity to clear out that place, perhaps we should, not now, but in time, create a sort of evacuation plan if it ever came to it, and have the individuals go there once we secure both that area."
Hey, how far away was that area again? Wasn't it like a couple of hours, like the walk?
It was
Hour or so?
like 45 minutes by flight. I think like an hour. by,
Yeah,
like-
hour and a half if you just walk or run, you know. Unless you're Addy Dark, then your sprint, that thing's going to take like an hour or so. Maybe
Yeah,
like
she's saying
45.
Yeah, she's saying in case of like, not of course not if it's like the corruption who like literally gets to us instantly most of the time, but like other threats. Like if we know another threat is on horizon. That's a good defensible place since it's
Hannibal will actually add to that and say, I think that it might be worth it to possibly provide some means of transportation inside the city. Like a tunnel of some sort, or, I don't know, some sort of way to be able to hide about and go.
Do you mean something like a underground cart system or something?
Anything
Yes.
that a group of individuals attacking wouldn't know about, but we would, and we'd be able to transport the people far and fast.
This is exactly what I had in mind. Just for future. It's not something we should focus on now, but on the way back, I was thinking that could be quite a solution for if the village is ever in trouble.
I'll discuss with Mal and we can figure out a design, but I think our primary need are defenses for the upcoming the threats that you mentioned, Agni.
Yes, it seems like we still need to get these people into shape. As This place, although a safe haven right now, it's not that safe from attacks. I believe with the new buildings, we should be able to do something magical you and Mao were discussing with the walls.
With that, you'll see as Hannibal will mention one last thing. Also, before we go into that, there is something you should know. While you all were going to the sinkhole, I took it upon myself to make sure that individuals were trained up a little bit more in your, how you say, disappearance for the time being. They're showing a bit of promise, but they're still far from being true warriors. That said, one thing that seems to be a little bit of a potential issue in the future, you'll see as he sort of looks towards his little makeshift armor that he's sort of crafted for himself. Agni, you would notice as it's not the greatest of works, it's kind of just strung together by like really rope, a bit of sort of scrap metal that he can possibly find and muster to make his own bit of armor. But because remember, his weapons and armor, same thing with Trogs, were stolen by the Zhao dynasty. But he'll say, we're in need of a blacksmith of the sort, or someone who could know the profession. Agni, I saw you once when I was resting that you did something with weapons and smithing. I don't know if you would be willing to take that up, but...
It was something I did in my spare time, although not all the skills have returned to me. I have the tools, just need out of practice, let's just say. Simple things as sharpening weapons and general maintenance is easy. I'll need a little bit of practice before I can actually make weapons, but hopefully this free time be able to make something suits your needs.
That would be good. As well as just in case of an attack, we could at least arm what warriors we do come up with.
I believe we received plenty of metal, as he looks at like Zaman and Mao, from the Hydra that we killed. I'll tell you one thing, Hannibal. I've never seen a beast with more heads than that thing. We should have sufficient supplies for myself to get started, at least.
Very well. That being said, Mao's gonna look over kind of towards Zaman and just, or pretty much to everybody and say, also on that note of sort of underground transportation of the sorts, we might want to, it's like you kind of were saying, it's not necessarily our first priority. Let's make sure that we can actually defend from an attack first rather than worry about escape. I mean, from what you all are saying, it's probably best to be able to defend yourselves without having to resort to running away in the first place, you know?
You ask me, the best defense is a better offense. If they attack us and we crush them, there'll be no need to run.
I agree. You're trying to say.
Gore opened up just one eye while he heard you say crush him, and then went back to muttering to himself.
However, it seems as the threats are gone. What do you guys plan to do with your free time? We must consider our choices wisely. We've already used 2 or 3 days before the tournament, and who knows what's going to come before then.
Well, one last thing before we get into that. It has come to my attention that these marks that we have, perhaps they are well, not perhaps, but it has come to my attention that they are connected to draconic sages. And these individuals, who these marks are their essence, will also be at the tournament. All of them.
Oh boy, actually, Valley of Dreams, you get to make history checks because you were in the previous one. So I need Zaman, Azora, you can't, you already know why. I like, whenever it's a history check, I'm just going to the next person, bro. But Zaman, Cora, you can make this to an extent. It won't be a easy one, but yeah, Zaman and Gore, you can make one. Same thing with you, Agni and Cora. 16, 9, 15, 15, 17, okay. So it's not bad, not bad. So, I'd probably say... Actually, Agni, you probably wouldn't actually know that I'm thinking or remembering your backstory. Because you weren't
I was wondering. I was like,
Yeah,
I
'cause
know about this? Okay.
you were here, like, you were in the Forbidden Expanse for a bit, but you weren't.
Yeah, it
like,
wasn't a long period of time.
Yeah, it wasn't a long period of time, so probably not. So Mon and
Okay.
Cora, you'd at least know a little bit. So, in your time in the likes of either Jaded Dragon Valley with Cora, or same thing with you, Zaman, or the likes of the Forbidden Expanse, you had overheard that there were individuals of mythic legend, great power, and great being. These individuals known as the Draconic Sages. Fabled myths, but if one was to ever come in contact with them, you could possibly either be bestowed upon a great boon or gift, become one of their chosen, or possibly meet your fate, a fate worse than death. These individuals, a lot of people that you would kind of talk to, especially like the younger sort of generations and more, they might aspire to become one of the Draconic Sages champions. Most people would view them as crazy or insane, but they'd have high hopes. Regardless, if these rumors are true, these individuals could provide an immense cosmic power to you, the Voden Knights, or anybody who would be to gain them, or gain it. So, Cora and Zaman, you two would both know that.
These these sages are quite powerful. They that level of power can either be a blessing or a curse, depending on what happens and how they perceive you. If the Zhao dynasty gets their hands on it, it could be highly problematic.
So are you saying we just win the tournament and win their favor?
Or we just win their favor.
It could be that simple, but the last thing that's come to my attention is the marks that we have. Well, the intentions of those sages may come through those marks. And like she like looks over at Agni and she's saying their feelings or their intent, well, through these marks bestowed upon each of us, it is almost as if we are beholden to that from time to time. I'm not quite sure how it works, but there's a connection between the sages and these marks, and what they hate, one who holds these marks may hate.
Are you saying they're controlling us in some form of action? That we don't completely have our own will?
Think of it like more influence than control. It's when the marks activate, it is almost like you become an avatar of that sage for but a moment. Guess is the best way I can explain.
I don't like that. I don't like being beholden to anyone.
Yes, well, you might have the chance to take it up with your specific sage soon come.
And, I mean,
You-
I'm not gonna lie, well, unless you figure out a way to get rid of it, I mean, You tried getting rid of that thing, right? If you didn't like it.
I have not tried, but do you all remember we were marked previously?
Azor will shake her head no.
I think no one remembers that except Gore. But, actually, no, you guys can continue. About 5 more minutes till Addy Dark arrives.
Yeah.
Zaman would
Yeah.
say we were marked previously, and through some experimentations, the marks were exchanged amongst Agni and Korra once they touched. So though we may not have chosen our given marks, maybe once we get a better understanding of these sages, we can figure out who exactly would be better to work with which ones.
Well, all of this was to just say the draconic sage that holds one mark can have an issue with one that holds another. And through us, that plays out. It is something that I wanted to share.
Gore kind of mumbles out, "These marks are gifts," and it gets back to his.
Gifts, but there comes a cost with a lot of things. I wouldn't necessarily call these gifts, as we do not know why they were bestowed upon us, nor did we ask. But they seem to come with a cost that not all of us are aware of the price.
A gift is a nice term, but usually you can choose whether or not you would like to accept a gift.
Hannibal will say, on Azor's point, looking towards his hand with the red triangle mark, that is one question we always asked. Why exactly were we the ones chosen to bear these marks? It didn't make much sense to us, and we never understood the answer or figured it out.
It's because at the time you had the strongest wills. No disrespect, but it seems like we've been chosen this time around.
Fair enough. But it still begs the question on why someone is chosen and for what reason.
Well, in less than 2 months, if what Azura says is true, hopefully we can ask them face to face. All this means is us with the marks have a bigger burden that we must carry. If we must impress these sages in order to keep the Ops or the Zhao dynasty from obtaining this power, then that is what must be done.
Well, either way, it is just food for thought. Before we get to that, we might want to think about strategizing what we're going to do for the tournament.
Well,
Again, I'm not sure if it's 1v1s or groups or how it is set up, but either way, we should work on our training and be as prepared as we can be for whatever lies ahead.
as soon as you say that, you begin to overhear a sort of knocking off to the side. With that, we look over towards another individual off to the side coming to the village far, far away. Addy Dark, as you're sort of sprinting or sprinting like a madman off to the side, you look over and you see as you finally jog over and arrive towards the village, one step at a time. Seems to be that things have slightly changed, but the mushroom folk are still here in abundance. You notice as there is a giant mushroom and old man Philo who's getting ready to walk into, you can tell, a new building of the sorts. label. That said, Addy Dark, what would you like to go, or where would you like to go, and what would you like to do?
Have I seen this magic mushroom before? Is this a new dude?
You so they don't, okay. All right, they don't actually change the look and design whenever they get a or not a subclass or like get character development. They all look like differing mushrooms, but I'm not gonna have a different token for each one.
Oh,
right?
this is all that new art you were talking. These are all just new art. Okay.
These were the mushrooms that a while ago that Zaman were he was training as they were magic inclined. Those were spellcasters.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let me go talk to them and make sure they haven't been influenced in the wrong way by Zaman.
Okay. All right. You sort of climb up the rocks and begin to look over towards these three as they're sort of talking amongst one another.
One question.
Yeah.
I thought their magic inclinity was like secretive because they didn't want anybody to know. So only Zaman and maybe Agni would know.
That is
so
true.
Only Agni Dark would know.
That is true. He wouldn't know, but yeah, he wouldn't know that he talked to those individuals because I don't think he's a part of training.
So what you're saying, what you're telling me is all these mushrooms look alike to me. Gotcha. Copy. They all look the same.
Oh my god.
Gotcha. Copy. Where's my homeboy though? Was it Leroy? Leroy the mushroom?
You're talking about Phil?
I thought it was Leroy.
Leroy? Oh, you're looking for Leroy. He'd be, where is he? Do you not have a name? Hold on, I got it. I'll go find him in a bit. I believe he would be over here, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. With that, I'll just roll up the good Philo.
Yeah. You look over as Philo's like knocking on the door for a moment, but you see as he notices you. What do you say?
Knocking? We don't do that. Rerun this place. And he just runs right into the door.
Oh my. As you sort of open or just walk through the door, you'll see as Philo is just gonna sees you swing the door open, and he's just gonna look inside and kind of have to bend his head to sort of walk on in. I hope that you've been well, young Addy Dark. Oh god, this is very tight.
It was a great day. Many robots were slain. Sadly, Zaman still survived, but still a good day. Plenty of robots killed today.
I see. I hope you enjoyed yourself. With that,
roll in, man. It is packed in here, yo. For the record,
yeah.
it is bumping in here. This is like one of them cellar parties back in my college days. Everybody trying to get it pumping. All right.
You'll see his Philo will kind of like or kneel his head down a little bit and kind of peer in and wave towards everyone. He will say that I think that it's probably best for everyone if I sit and reside out here. With that, you guys can continue as you were doing.
So as Addy comes in, Azora nods and then looks back at the group and says, well, like I was saying just before you entered, Addy, we shall all look at sharpening our skills for the upcoming tournament. We do not have any clue or an idea of what is in store for us. Hannibal, once this meeting has concluded, I would like to continue our training session.
That should suffice. Now, I know brief bits of this tournament, but not too much. If any of the stories of the past have rung true, the tournament could, well, it could very well shift and change depending on how they're feeling. For example, it could be simple singles tournaments. Maybe only chosen combatants of great skill be able to enter. It could also be that you may have to choose a partner to go into combat with. Who knows? The choice is sort of, or the sort of a category or theme changes from time to time. That being said,
So- It sounds best to prepare for the worst.
exactly.
As we don't know exactly what we're up against. As long as we're the sharpest tool in the shed, we will come out of this on top.
I agree. The question would be, what would be the worst case scenario? You all have battle experience for weeks at this point. I just suppose that the worst case scenario be you fighting on your own or even against each other.
I don't think it'd be the worst if we fought against each other. Iron sharpens iron. However, it would lower our percentage of winning.
Oh, so how would a strongest warrior be selected?
Nothing you got to worry about, Trog. No.
Trog, try.
Yeah, disrespect, yo.
Oh man. As far as I'm aware, it could be that, from what I think I remember, one of the individuals said that they had a system where you would go through either an obstacle course or there would be a mass, sort of a pit or pool of individuals, warriors of the sorts. Those who survived that first culling, well, they'd move on to the actual tournament. They could do something similar, but who knows?
No use worrying about it if you ask me. I'm confident all of us in this room, if they choose to enter, will make it to the stage.
Zora nods. She says, "Well, with that out of the way, is there anything that you all would like to discuss? I would like to discuss the idea of the Zhao dynasty that is close to here. I'm wondering if those are the same ones that took you all's weapons and armor. Perhaps it would behoove us to get it back through negotiation or other means."
Do we want to focus on that right now, Zora?
No, but it is, in my opinion, good to have your friends close but your enemies closer. Them being that close, I rather us deal with them now. It does not have to be violent, but they're clearly watching us.
If that's the case, we've already broken the treaty of peace with them. I don't know if going to their front door and try and negotiate would be the best right now.
What makes you think we're broken the treaty? They let Hannibal and Troy live. If the treaty was broken, I'm sure they would have tried to kill them and not just rob them in their sleep.
It was around the same time when that lone survivor was found and they were out. Maybe word didn't travel then.
This is true. But would we rather wait to get attacked at night or while we're vulnerable? Or go assess the situation before then? Oftentimes, I've come to realize knowledge is power and information is key. We are currently in the dark while they hold all the cards.
I am currently more concerned with the threat that Agni mentioned and preparing for that. We know where the Zhao dynasty is. We could potentially have people monitor that direction, but we have no idea where this new threat is coming from.
Perhaps you could speak more on that, Agni. Is it like the apps or something else? Because if it's like the apps, well, they'll just teleport to our location like always. There really is no true preparing for it.
I've told you everything that I truly know about this. There's been many different voices in my head, coming from pretty much all over. This one sounded very threatening, foreseeing something to happen around this time, or else I could potentially be forgotten.
That sounds very op-like.
Well, the only way to prepare for that is to make sure we have an emergency plan for the civilians here. Perhaps Cora, you could work with Philo in creating and crafting more potions. Zaman and Mal, you could get the defenses together. Adi and Gore, well, you all could do what you do best: supplies and resources. Other than that, there's
Personally,
not much else we can do with those individuals, the apps.
We're in dire need of soul coins.
I don't think whatever this voice or power is interested in unmarked people, it seems like. But I would recommend for anyone doing stuff today, try to stay with somebody, as who knows what could potentially happen.
Azura nods her head.
We'll see as, well, Philo will kind of nod as well, agreeing to that.
And Gore would kind of speak up from his muttering and be like, "Well then, we've wasted enough time. Observant one. Wouldn't me and Addie get back? Oh no, me and your furry one right now, right? Me and the furry one get back from the hunt. We have some training to do." And Gore looks over at Addie, because looking in this place, time to do what we do. And then he puts his hand out to the window.
Before you go, there might be an area of interest to you, Gore. It's where I found one of the dynasty lurking about. There seemed to be an area ripe with vegetation, water as well. I would keep your wits, though, about going there, as the Zhao dynasty has scouted that area as well. But just like before, there might be things that they've missed.
Well, then we hunt more than we did before, furry one. Maybe it just won't be for a meal this time.
If I, could speak, what looking for? I've scouted around village.
Well, there's a couple of things. A village consistently needs food and water. Although we have a good amount of food provided by the garden, it's not enough just yet. There's also the way we tend to build, such as this building we're in now. Materials and what we call soul coins are in short supply and heavy demand if we want to keep up with this arms race.
Speaking of that, if you've done some scouting, Tron, have you seen machine-like animals around, or any other creatures or things made of machines? Those are often our best bet of getting those coins.
Oh, yeah. I have seen, trog seen, bird, and, fish, metal in nature, like, Zaman and Korra. Yeah.
You said mechanical
Your man
bird.
knows words.
Yeah, mechanical
Oh.
bird near river where fish and mechanical fish swim.
Mechanical fish and mechanical birds.
That could be a good source of coins and materials. Perhaps, Zaman, if you would like to accompany Adidak and go and Trog there.
Yeah, this will be good for the research to understand these creatures.
And I agree. Always good to have another robot around to keep these other robots in check.
Terrible. More the merrier for the hunt, then. The greedy one joins us this time. Gore must first pay the sparkly one, though. His debt isn't fulfilled.
The what? You'll see as Hannibal says, looking towards you, Gore.
Hannibal, have you heard of Baby Mama Drama? No?
Did your subscription expire, Gore?
Gore just holds his hands out. That's what he does.
Hannibal's gonna look at y'all like you're crazy, but I've heard of it. Thank the gods I haven't experienced that, but what does that have to do with Gore?
The sparkly one helped us, and Gore had to pay the price to make sure his debt was paid.
It's gonna
He
make this.
paid it willingly. Kinda enthusiastically, one may say.
Greedy one, the debt hasn't been paid yet.
Yo, Hannibal's gonna lean over towards Addy Dark and kind of whisper and says, "Is he talking about a god or something?"
No. I think it's a maiden of some sort. You know when a guy and a girl and they love each other very much, so much that they want to, maybe start a new life with a smaller version of themselves.
I know what. Yes.
Hannibal. Hannibal. He's talking about the voices inside these crystals, I believe.
That does not. I'm going to stop asking questions because that's not going to uncomplicate anything.
Did you all already forget the sparkly one that's with us? That quick?
Azorus stands and says, well, go deal with your subscription service or whatever's going on there. After that, you four, Trog, Adi, Zaman, can go to gather those resources. And if anyone else would like to go with you, I'm sure Mal, you would like to stay here and get some rest after these days' events.
If that's okay, yeah, I'd want to, not risk getting killed for a couple hours. I'd appreciate that.
Makes sense, Mal. Question: Do you have any advice of the type of creatures I should attempt to bring back for research purposes?
Well, starting with the smaller ones would probably be the best. If you can, without getting yourselves hurt, maybe find one that's not hostile and figure out, well, maybe one that's hostile and one that's not. That way we can compare and see what exactly is making them hostile,
Yes. That makes sense. Gore, Addy, Trog. I believe we will need stealth for this mission. Please, let me take the lead before you attack.
Zorus, hearing no.
Do apologize. I was on mute.
Oh, go ahead.
I was waiting for Addy to reply first. I figured he'd be the most appropriate.
Oh, yes, I will. I'll wait just a moment, right before I crush them and strike them to death. Is perhaps a millisecond enough? Would that be enough time for you to do your research?
These creatures are no good dead to us. If we run into another Hydra, we will be more prepared if we have a better understanding of them and can potentially control them. Don't let your anger make your decisions that can affect the entire group.
Don't confuse anger with getting the job done, greedy one. We're sent to hunt.
And
Not-
gather. Remember the gathering.
Yeah, Zora nods, and she says, "Sol, do you four have your assignment? Any objections to it?"
I am good with it.
Gore's here for the pity patty and getting that survival on. He here for the survival check.
If we're gonna go fishing, we're gonna need a fishing pole.
This is true. Perhaps you all can work on that before you head out, or perhaps you'll be able to find materials
Why
out in the
need
wild.
fishing pole? Why not use hand or mouth?
Or a net. Maybe more efficient.
Strange ways for a hunt.
Zora nods, and she'll say, "Perhaps you could let Trog get some shine in. Once you do spot them and able to sneak up enough, Zaman, perhaps let Trog be the actual tactician on how to capture. Hunting might be his specialty."
Understood.
Cora, are you okay with making potions with Philo?
If I have the chance, I will. But me and Adney have other things to attend to.
She nods and she says, "Well, when you get time, we're definitely going to need as many potions as possible. We don't want to wind up in a situation like we did with the Hydra. If everyone at least has one on them, perhaps would raise our chances of success within this coming war."
Yeah. Once we finish with the lake, I'll be sure to step right up on making potions. Make sure everyone's equipped.
And she says, "I'll get to training the recruits, but again, Hannibal, I would like to continue our training as well. But I'll make sure that we have at least some internal security while everyone is out. And as we keep going on these adventures outside of here, it'd be best if this village has as much security and defense as possible beyond Mal in Zaman's wall. I'll make sure of that."
Very
And then
well.
she sits back down.
I guess the better question would be, for those who want to train, because Gore, you mentioned you needed to. Same with possibly Addy Dog. Would you all want to train at the same time? Or would you want personalized training?
The more the merrier. We can always crush together.
Very well, but let us try to refrain from, how you say, all sparring at the same time. I think it's best for especially me.
And Hannibal, I would say you may want to restrict yourself.
That is most suitable. Though I suppose having multiple people there in case of anything to happen would definitely be suitable. This shall work. Nice. Mal will just, well, actually, probably, yeah, I guess Hannibal will just finish and say it. That said, is there anything else that you needed to discuss? Anything further about tournaments, or anything about things to sort of handle across the village, whether it be sponsors, protection? What do you need?
Before you go training Hannibal, I am curious about these sponsors. Would you happen to know a way to get in contact with any of them? I would like to see if there is a way to strike some sort of deal on behalf of the Voden Knights.
This is
Azora says, with that, I'll take my leave.
this is
She don't wanna
actually
hear
something
nothing like
you
that.
want to probably hear, Azora. This
Like,
is
if it sounds like to her, she's talking about like, and now you can correct me if I'm wrong, Agni, but it sounds like to her that you're talking about kind of tipping the scales in our favor.
I mean, he doesn't really know at all. I mean,
Okay.
you probably as a person knows Agni will do anything to win, but in this case, he's really just looking for general information to see, like, maybe if we put someone's logo on our banner, we get 500 extra gold. Who knows? But
Okay.
he's just first asking, but you would probably be able to figure out in time that is what he's going to
She definitely don't want to be privy to those type of talks. But all right, if we're talking about just
He knows.
All right, cool.
He knows.
even Hannibal would be like, he would probably be able to say something about that beforehand. But you all mentioned
All right,
this.
cool.
This is something you all want to listen towards, especially if you are looking to enter the tournament. Hell, if you're even planning on going to the island. So, from what I heard, every group that enters represents an organization. So, for example, if you, Azora, entered, you'd be under the organization of the Voden Knights, assuming we entered as our own organization. Makes sense? However,
She nods.
there are sponsors that I'd assume from each of the three of the regions. The Kalani Council, the Velkin with the Astral King, and the Ishtarans and the Zhao Dynasty. I say the Zhao Dynasty as a sponsor considering if what they say is true. Then the Dynasty is the remaining authority in all of the valley, and it's only a matter of time before all the remaining clans and villages fall under their rule rather than just drifters. We'll prevent this, but it is still something to keep in mind. Now, besides these three, or besides the three regions, there typically are several sponsors that are a lot smaller or independent. But I'd have no idea who they are and what they'd be trying to accomplish and whether they'd even be here, considering, well, he looks around, the end of the world. Now, oh, good.
Makes sense. I was hoping that there could potentially be independent local people. But if that is the case, I would suggest all of you to keep your eyes open. We're starting to expand, and I would imagine in time there's going to be other people besides mushrooms here. One of them could potentially know somebody. It's never about what you know. It's about who you know, to Azura's point of information.
Exactly. To that note, a lot of the time, well, you are actually exactly correct. Most of the time, depending on who you ally yourself with, if anybody at all, can determine many things. Your positioning in the brackets, as well as who you might have to face and what you may need to do. As painful as I hate to say it. As much as I would like to uphold honor, and I still intend to do so, our enemies may not think the same way. Strings will most likely be pulled, and we need to be on, as you mentioned, sharpened on all several fronts in case of this. even if you're not on the battlefield. But one thing is, people will be recruiting other individuals to join their organization and sponsor them themselves. It has its benefits, but it does have its drawbacks. A couple of benefits is allying yourself with one of the major factions like the Kalani Council, for example. We'd gain funding for the future, gold, which could help with expenses and more, or even resources that we'd use. We'd also be able to form alliances with said regions and factions. Lastly, we'd even be able to have more fighting power and warriors, which means more chances of success on our end. However, Zaman, you probably wouldn't like this, I'd assume. We'd be under the rule of another organization. So, unless we'd want to earn their wrath, what they say would go. And there is no question about it. We'd also be considered somewhat expendable. For example, if in this tournament, Korra, you, and Gore were also to be, facing off in the semi-finals. We might be instructed to have Gore lose and Korra advance, because she's more equipped to face the opponent in the finals. And that is the best case scenario. They could have us do other things that we'd have to be held to accomplish or earn their wrath.
I wouldn't worry too much about that. I have my ways of making sure we get the best deal possible. In no case scenario, I would allow any of us to be under the thumb of someone else. I will handle that aspect.
Well, if that's the case, I don't know exactly how much money we're talking, but, might need to start getting a true economy going if that's the case. And you see his mouth sort of rubbing his hands together a little bit. And kind of...
You seem quite excited, Mao. Is this something you would be interested in?
He looks over to the big bag of wares and more. I think I know a guy when it comes to selling some stuff to a couple people. But, we're gonna probably want some gold or some sorts of means of generating wealth. Probably to help provide for weapons or anything that we could try to, trade with other people. If that's even an option, I don't know. We may not want to trade with anybody, depending on how you guys want to go about things.
I should look at Philo, as she said. When we first got here, Did was a individual that they said comes here from time to time to trade. Is that individual on some type of scheduling, or is it just random?
Are you referring to a Myconid or something else?
We never asked the race, but they stated that somebody comes to the village to trade every now and again.
You see as Philo begins to try to think. I doubt it. We are, for the most part, pretty self-sufficient here. And we don't really deal with too many outside forces. Maybe an occasional straggler, but they don't stay long due to the spores.
Azura, could they have been referring to the witch? I believe she came periodically to trade, if I wasn't mistaken.
You're referring to her. I mean, I've been separated from this place for... well, as long as my life at this point, right? But... I could ask around if you wish. Oh, I think that is
Well-
Zora's dead. Oh, there she is.
Well, yeah, she'll nod and say, well, if that is all, perhaps we shall get going to our tasks. We have no clue when this threat will arrive.
Okay. Trog's gonna get up and just start heading out.
Trog, how far is this place?
It. Hold on, actually, let me check the map. Actually, that's a good question. I don't think it would be. From what I remember, it's not more than an hour away, but I could be wrong. You guys are near. Oh no, it wouldn't be that long. It'd be about 30 minutes for me if multiple people come and they can't keep up. An hour would be time.
Copy. When we're close, let's say maybe 5 minutes from the destination, let me know so we can go into stealth mode.
Okay. Do I leave?
You will lead, Trog. Yes, you can.
No.
You can lead us.
No, do I leave?
Yes, leave. Yes, I think we're ready. Unless
Oh.
Agnew or Zora has anything else.
Zora said, no, I'll go round up the recruits and get them started the training. I'll meet you somewhere, Hannibal, after that. I'll find you.
We'll see as he nods. File will kind of get out of the way so everybody can move out.
Just don't forget, everyone. Stay on your guard.
And with that, the Voden Knights begin to continue out and do their thing. So, question for all of you. Is there anything that you needed to do before you guys headed to bed to get your long rest in, or do you guys just pretty much head to bed, wake up, and then get to work?
Zora's just gonna tell Gashir to get the recruits ready for the morning and then head off to bed.
Alright, easy enough.
Yeah, just ready to get to the hunt.
Yep.
Where does the noxious blade stay on this map, so I can make sure I'm sleeping in the right tree?
So that's when we gotta go to the other map. I mean, it's like... It's kind of hard to tell with this. So I'd probably say, like, roughly over here. Like, roughly with that.
Yeah, I just want to make sure he knows. Let him know I'm there.
He will know. He will know from this war cries.
Zaman will want to have a quick word with Agni once everybody leaves, though.
Okay. Alright, Hannibal's got nothing, so he's gonna start getting any other recruits or stragglers as well. Alright, Philo's gonna go pretty much embed himself into the ground and go to sleep. He's gonna be chilling. He'll probably do so right here. He doesn't need to go to a house or anything. But Mao's gonna pretty much go to your guys' hut off to the side. We'll just put him over here. Trog is gonna go do the same. Go to your guys' house. Where are the rest of you guys going? Are you just going home, or are you doing anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to that tree, but on the walk back, I was going to barter with Mao to get my gauntlets made faster and higher priority.
Sure thing. You can.
Anything.
Yeah, you can just move your token over to Mao. We can do that. So with that, Cora and Gore, you guys doing anything or nah?
Gore's going to the room to pray.
You got it.
Cora's just gonna ask Agni. Agni, do you still have the cat?
Yes, still have the cat. Do you require its companionship?
I just have some investigations I have to do regarding the cat. May I use it, and I can give it back to you second thing in the morning.
Sure, just it does have the tendency to wander off. Bring it with you when we meet up at the lake up north. I'll see you then, Cora.
Thank you.
That's it. And Cora the
Take
cat.
the cat and she's on.
Alrighty. So Cora, that is what you're going to be doing. You're going to be looking through that sort of thing, doing what we talked about. In the meantime, Zaman and Acne, floor is yours. What would you like to say or do?
Agni, a quick word. So I found a few individuals who are magically inclined. I started training them and I had them practicing. I think one of them in particular has power similar to yours. If you wouldn't mind,
I doubt it's similar to Zaman, but I get what
well,
you're saying.
yeah, it's more, how do I say, innate, like comes from inside versus like, Core's power or my power. Um, so it may be interesting for you to have a conversation with them because I think similar to these crystals, their powers are wild and may need help being controlled.
I've heard of sorcerers, magic users that can't control their power. They're usually the most dangerous and most unpredictable. I'll have a talk with them in the morning. We'll see if we can get it under control. However, I'm not a very forgiving teacher.
Neither am I. Do what you need to do. His name is Alip.
I'll keep that in mind. I hope he's proficient in fire, or else he's going to have a long couple of days ahead of him.
Zaman smiles and says, that is a perfect reason to heal somebody after they've gone through some brutal training.
And what about the rest of them? Are they all similar to you?
No, one of them, it seems, I can't. One of them, I can't really tell at all. The name is Stump. I have no idea where they get their power from. The other one seems to be very similar to Jade. Seems to be one who studies and reads to get their powers. But Stump is curious. It feels like they're p- they're like channeling something, but it's not divine. It's strange. I've never run into anything like that.
Well, if you need help with their magic training, feel free
Actually,
to let me know.
real quick, both of you make Arcana checks for me.
Copy.
Might be interesting. 13.
I'm
and then...
supposed to have proficiency with Arcana, but for some reason it's not. I guess. Oh, I know why.
If you didn't put on
I don't
D&D Beyond, that's why.
Yeah, that's why.
gotcha.
I just update. Oh, we both did, but yeah, it should be 16 then.
16, 14.
I'm going to use my Oracle's insight to add on top of that.
Nice. 21. Alright, so between the both of you, you know that there are, this is kind of the same conversation that I had with Cora a while ago. There are multiple types of magic. There is, magic that comes from the arcane, magic that comes from the divine, and magic that comes from, how you say, more spiritual things in nature, the environment around, right? However, there is subcategories of magic. Now, it's a possibility, and as you sort of mentioned this to Agni, you might be able to have an inkling, but Zaman, you start putting things together a little bit. There are types of magic that combine bits of the arcane as well as the divine, causing more of the researching capabilities to discover more dark beings, in the sense of possibly eldritch nature. One type of magic you've actually dealt with a bit. The likes of, well, how you say, witchcraft. to put it lightly. That is the extreme case and scenario. The more likely scenario is the one of, well, dark dealings, pact magic, and more. Pact magic and more. It's not likely that this individual could be dealing with that, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. So, that's what the information that you guys know.
Copy. Zaman would say, maybe this individual came about something that it did not know what it was and ended up making a deal for power with something it has no comprehension of. They don't seem like the type to willfully seek a power from a otherworldly being.
Well, keep an eye on them. If they could be potentially dangerous, they're going to be cut down immediately.
That is fair. We've been training in the area where the Swamp King was to be outside the village, especially the one with the wild magic, to make sure no one is harmed.
Understood. Keep on training them. Let me know when there's some actual... Damn, I can't think of the word. Some actual proof to what they've been working on. I'd love to take a look for myself. And I'll keep an eye on Alep.
I appreciate it. I just don't want anything to happen while I'm gone. And then he will depart.
With that, as you begin to depart, you head back or head over towards your homes. Go to sleep for the time being. With that,
Question, Sensei, because I only need 4 hours of sleep. Am I able to like craft some armor with the other 4 hours, waiting for everybody else to wake up?
yeah, you could easily do that.
Oh,
All right, so remind me of that in a bit. We got a couple things. So we got Zoro, who's heading over towards Gashir, and then Addy Dark, who's heading over to Mao. Let's go with Addy Dark and Mao, and then we're gonna head over to Zoro and Gashir. All right, Addy, as you begin to sort of find Mao right before.
Actually, we could. I can do that some other time. I can worry about that this session.
All right, you got it. All right, we'll go over towards Azora then. You look over and you see as Gashir is kind of he's kind of like dozing off to the side, which is very, very rare for a mushroom to kind of be found sleeping without being stalked into the ground. But as he's kind of leaning on this sort of tree, he's kind of sleeping. What do you do?
Yeah. So she takes like the sheath of her sword and like kind of like whacks it against the tree where he's leaning, and she says, "Get up for a moment."
Oh, shit, you're back. Hello, Azora. I'm glad to hear that he looks at all the people around. The second best swordsman is back in town. Yeah.
She just looks at him like, and she says, "In the morning, well, before you go to sleep, tell all the recruits to go out into the village when they wake up. Find tree bark that could serve as a shield, perhaps some sinew or other type of, or perhaps vines that they can reinforce it with. Tomorrow we learn defense to complement their offensive training as of late. Gashir, just get it done."
I can do that. This is a simple task for the noxious blade, but you take care. Pleasure seeing you again. Oh dear Lord.
Gashir, get it done, or you'll be the practice dummy.
Ah shit. That being said, Gashir is gonna start getting to work, starting to go find the other Myconid warriors. Okay, I know you haven't been training for a bit, but I hope that Hannibal fella has been doing the job for me. All right, he's gonna start scrambling about and getting people together. All right. So with that, if everybody's
would Addy Dark see the noxious blade go to bed?
yes, he would. Yes, he would.
Would he notice me? Just kind of, staring at him menacingly?
Are you stealthing like intentionally, or are you just literally just standing there?
Oh, I'm just standing there. Yeah.
Let's make a perception check.
Yeah, I'm curious if he just want to know.
18. He's looking around like, okay, what could they be? What could they be? Ah, there's one. And sort of talks to that guy, and then begins to be like, okay, finally, a good day's work. What the fuck is it? He looks over towards you, just stopping, just staring directly at him. Just put your head down. Don't say anything. Just gonna start climbing up to over to here. Excuse me. Excuse. He's just gonna kind of look at you, not even knowing what to say or do. Are you just staring directly at him, not even saying anything?
Gashir, you have a good night's rest. I'll make sure no night creatures bump in the night.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, of course. We wouldn't want any night creatures, to get the jump on
village's
us.
strongest warrior. We don't want anything bad to happen to him.
No. If anything happened to me, then who would be able to protect all these fine people? I mean, of course, there's always the Voden Knights, which could get it done. They will get it done, but they always want their great. Actually, I was meaning to tell you or ask you about that. So this whole Voden Knight thing, is it? I don't know, is this like a sort of closed club, or is this like a, you sort of file an application, or like, how does that sort of whole thing work?
It's a pretty extensive
Asking
process.
for a friend. Asking for a friend.
If you talk to Zaman, I believe there's quite a lot of paperwork. I kind of lucked out. When I met the group, they kind of were a little bit disoriented. I don't think they noticed that I wasn't even part of the group to begin with, but it's kind of worked out in my favor at this point.
Okay, so okay, good, because it was like some random crazy sort of warrior. He was trying to be like, I want to sign up for the sort of Voden Knights and all that, and I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, if you don't want to be under Gashir's wing.
As the Noxious Blade, how many duels have you been into? I mean, that's always the fastest way too, Just challenge one of us to a fight and...
Oh, no. This is not for the Gashir. Gashir has big plans.
I see, asking for a friend. Very understood, Gashir.
Right. But you have a good night looking for those night creatures. Yeah.
And Addy Dark begins to sing a great night tale hymn into the night as Gashir walks into his home, howling in the sky.
He's just gonna say to himself, "You don't hear this, but I think I may need to find another place to live." With that, eventually, all of your all the individuals begin to take a long night's rest, and with that, you all gain your long rest if you need it. You can change up your spells. You can change up anything that you need. For those individuals, I think some of you are trying to purify the water. If you're trying to change to purify food and drink or any of those spells, change it on D&D Beyond, and then let me know when I need to re-import your character sheet. All right. So with that, here's how we can do this, y'all. This is actually the party itself. So we can either have it where, if you want, we can just chalk it up to a sort of initiative system, and we'll have everybody tackle their goals again, one at a time, just switching between everybody. Or if we want, we can just have it where we just tackle one group, get all their stuff done, and then tackle the next group. Choice is yours on how you guys want to handle this and the sort of shifting between different parties and people, because I think a lot of you are splitting up besides this little hunt thing.
I would say initiative, just so that people get their equal shine, because I know any combat things typically takes a little bit longer time. So
yeah, that is true. So with that, let's chalk it up to this. let's have everybody just roll a d20, and that is what we're going to form for this little order. All right. So we got Agni and Azora with a 5. All right, we got it. God damn. All right, y'all, come on now. We got to roll above a 10 here. There we go.
Agni could go.
No, let me get them rolls out. Get that out now.
Yeah.
Gore is sleeping in tonight. Gore is sleeping in.
No, he's on
Wasn't
that.
happening, bro.
He was up all night.
That much
man.
blue in his
OnlyFans,
eye.
bro.
What the fuck are these
He got
rolls?
so much glitter on his head right now, bro. It's crazy.
Just told.
Website,
Tap my shoulder when
Auroraverse.
it's time.
Just seeing nothing but shining lights, bro. Just sparkles. Oh man.
Aurora
So-
fans is crazy.
I want I want you to know, out of all y'all, the highest one is a 15. Everybody below, or everybody besides that, rolled a 8, a 7, a 5, a 5, and a 1.
Sleeping in. We've been fighting for like 2 days straight.
Tired.
Yo, dudes
man.
have been going hard, bro. Dudes have been going hard.
Character, we've been fighting for a long time.
Yeah. Oh man. So hey, it's all good. So with that, let's start us off with good old Cora. So Cora, as you eventually well actually hold on real quick. Well, I mean, Zaman, you can sort of handle this stuff when we get to you. And then this will just be what you were doing you know, a couple of hours beforehand. But Cora, as you sort of awaken and power yourself back on with a new Warforged body, where do you go and what do you do for today? And where the hell is your token? Because I cannot find you. Oh, there it is. Okay.
I'm gonna check out the cat.
All right. So as you're checking on the likes of the cat throughout the sort of, are you doing this through the night or are you just doing this first thing in the morning?
How loud would it be?
Not too loud, like, you know, just for like the sake of ease. Like if you're playing, you know, something out loud on your phone, you could just kind of just pretty much adjust the volume or whatever to it's not blaring and everybody else can hear, but anybody within a small vicinity would be able to hear what's going on.
Okay. Well, what Cora would probably do is move somewhere to where there's not a lot of people, and then she'll just play the song because she's gonna do it before she goes to bed. Or
Gotcha.
Before she powers down.
So question, how much of it are you looking into? Are you only looking towards the portions with Phoebe or just like all of it?
Anything that anything Phoebe related. Yeah.
You got it. Make an investigation check for me, Cora. This is to see how long it takes.
Copy. Investigation.
22. You're able to try to recall back any bits of memories and more. As you do so, you begin to replay the sort of film back with all sort of aspects of Phoebe specifically. However, as you begin to do so, you see as it begins to return back to a very familiar and sort of gruesome scene. This being the time where you're the closest to her proximity-wise. You see in the entire area as there's blood filled everywhere. Blood on the walls, blood on the floor, onto the sort of, or this sort of experiment table. Knife in hand that's bloodied to pretty much to all hell. And as you notice, go ahead.
Oh no, I was wondering, do I see who's holding the knife?
Yes, it would be Phoebe.
Oh, she's holding the knife. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But as you get closer and closer towards her, as she begins to put the tag onto your arm, make a perception check for me.
Okay. $16.
16. You begin to hone in and try to really look into what is over there, but you're having a bit of trouble sort of seeing it. It's a very, very hard sort of, how you say, a hard task to do considering this is all from the cat's perspective. We can just try to sort of fast forward a little bit, go back and further back in the sort of video logs and more. Try one more time, Cora. Let's see if you're able to get it with this one. Also, I think do you have the guidance cantrip? Might help you out here.
Yeah.
Can guide yourself if you want to have Iroa's help or try to guide you in finding this.
Actually, no, I don't.
You actually don't have guidance. Never mind, you have guiding bolt. You do have enhanced ability that might be able to help out here, where you give yourself advantage on intelligence checks or wisdom checks. That is an option. But besides that, you're on your own for this. Choice is yours on whether you want to cast an enhanced ability spell or just keep it straight.
Can I? Should I use my nat 20?
You could if you want. I mean, hey, you only got it for this session, so.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll just use my nat 20.
All right, so if you're using the birthday nat 20, then here's what you will know. What's your total? So 20 plus 6 for a total of 26. All right, Cora. Here's what happens. As you begin to look towards Phoebe specifically, trying to eye exactly what's on her person, you look forward and try to understand what the hell they're talking about. As you do, oh boy, I don't know if this group has ever even seen it. They might have seen it on stream, but let me show you something. As you look towards her earrings, you notice as something is kind of strange about them. It's very weird. You notice as there are familiar shapes inside of the earrings. Circular beings with sort of strange triangle fins. You see, and even on the art to this day, you notice as there are small spirits inside of them. And there are several of them, in fact.
Is it both earrings or just the left?
Both earrings. You can even see them on both the arts when Fen made them. You have to look very, very closely for it too.
Okay, I can see it now. Yeah, he did a good job on this, by the way.
Oh man, no one was the wiser for the entire campaign until I pointed that out. So with that, you see these sort of strange spirits inside. You're not entirely sure why they sort of look like that in their form and nature, and it does raise a couple of questions on what exactly these spirits are that begin to help you guys out when it comes to building or trading and all of that. Might have a couple of questions for them later, but eventually you figure that that's all the information you're going to get out of this recording. You're going to sort of turn the cat camera off, begin to let it sort of reside and do its own thing.
Okay, so just to cover everything, I saw blood on the floors and walls. I saw the people holding the bloody knife. I saw that she placed a tag on me. And then in her earrings, I saw triangle fins, small spirits, and there's several of them in both earrings. But I don't know what the spirits are.
Yep. And I can give you a lot more information that you would see, but I won't reveal that on stream. Just hit me up afterwards, and I'll give you a whole list of everything that you saw with the nat 20.
Oh shit, that's damn man. I wrote all that for okay.
Hey man,
Perfect.
I got you. I'm about to give you like a whole paragraph of information about what you're about to see. Some things that even or Sands of Sin didn't see in the lax or in their game when they were there. But hold on to that. Just make sure to message me at the end of the game. Alrighty. So with that, Cora, is there anything else you wish to do for now, or is that all?
And then the last thing, with myself at least, is after talking about the marks on our hands, Cora's gonna revisit the marks on her hands and like, kind of like play around with it a little bit, just investigate it and try to get more attuned with the marks.
Alrighty. So as you're trying to sort of figure out exactly what the heck this thing is, you notice as it's definitely changed since you first originally got it. Very subtle, but it is kind of a different shape. From what seemed to be just originally just dots upon the palms of your hands, one gold on the right and then one shadowy or dark on the left. You notice as they're not dots, but instead sort of smaller, almost dragons or serpents eating their tails. If you ever seen the Ouroboros symbol, where it's basically just a dragon, or excuse me, a serpent just eating its tail, then or in a circle, then that's what you would see. And that is on each of your palms. Eventually, as you're trying to look further into it, make how you say, how exactly are you trying to go about this? What are you doing to try to activate the marker, try to utilize it, or learn more about it?
So she basically is looking at her hands, and then she's trying to see like she's feeling it to see, is it like is it deep? Is it just on a surface level? Like she's looking at it, does it activate? Like, you know.
What causes it to activate
like
and more? So as you begin
Basically.
to do, so as you begin to do so, you notice as the one symbol that Iroas gave you, or what you believe Iroas to give you, you see it begins to react to a little bit of divine magic after a bit of time. But Cora, make an investigation check. That's what we'll chalk this up to. 14. It seems to be that with the golden one, it reacts to divine evocation magic or any types of sort of healing bits of magic, any sort of ones that can enhance and heal rather than harm. The opposite one seems to be reacting a little bit more to necromantic magics or energy, or how you say, sometimes it can be enchantment magic, but more of sort of things producing negative effects and more. With that, you begin to look over and you notice as something is strange. You hear a bit of hissing in your mind. Not entirely sure what it means, but it does sound like a familiar hissing. I'm gonna DM you some stuff on what you hear. I will not reveal it on stream.
Bobby.
Bro, I'm trying to get some lore drops like this.
Nope. Nope.
Son, I know I should have used that nat 20 said corruption.
So, you look over towards a couple of people. Here are the individuals that you look over towards. Alright. When looking at this person, you hear this word. Kind of sort of drawn out, a little bit of a raspy voice. When you look over towards this individual,
Lord, just a dropping, bro.
that is what you hear. Towards those party members.
And I'm keeping this to myself, correct?
If you want. You can tell other people, but you can also keep that to your own.
And I got this from the mark on my left hand, correct?
Both. Both.
Oh, both.
That being said, I'll leave that to you on what you want to do with that for the time being and how you want to approach that situation. But that is what the mark speaks and says to you while you look at those individuals. Let's go over towards Zaman and see what they are up to for today. All right, Zaman.
Copy. So I got like 4 hours. So how many things would I be able to make in that time period?
Like crafting wise?
Yeah, like for armor or these damn gauntlets.
You're gonna be fucking tired, but you can make at most like probably 3 or 4 things. Yeah, we'll chop it up to 3 if you don't want to be exhausted for the rest of the day.
Yeah, he'll do 3. He'll make the plate armor for Azora and Korra, and he'll make Addie's gauntlets, so Addie can shut up.
All right, so let's chalk this up. All right, you're gonna need to make 3 survival checks. Now, hold on, let's make sure you guys got the materials to do so, because it does take materials to craft this stuff. Alrighty, where are your resources?
Hero's pretty much maxed, if I remember.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, because from the Hydra, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then let me look to see how much it costs to make armor and weapons. Where is it? Crafting. All right, so, oh god. So yeah, this is plate mail armor. So to craft each of these, well, to craft one set would be 10 materials. Craft a second one would be another 10 materials. Now you already have the plate, so you don't have to worry about that. But it would cost 20 materials total to make these 2 sets of plates. A lot of stuff to refine it, and a lot of time to take in to do so. For Addy Dark's mittens, if we're making custom weapons and all that, it would take 5 materials. So the choice is yours on whether you want to expend all 20 or 25 of your 30 materials on these armor and weapons, or if you want to save it for buildings in the future.
He'll do it. He knows they're going hunting, and we ain't got the soul coins to really make anything else. So he'll spend them.
Alrighty. Well, if that's the case, you only expend them if you actually make them successfully. So let's make some survival check rolls. All right, let's make the survival check for the plate mail armor for Korra.
Copy. Question. Since I'm proficient with Smith tools, do I get any additionals?
Yes, you do. You add your proficiency bonus again.
Copy. And then he's gonna use guidance on himself for all of this because he's trying to be efficient with the materials. So.
Alrighty.
So first one.
23. Yeah, you're good. You're fine. You don't need to add anything with that. So Korra's plate armor is gonna be looking good. Same thing with Azora's. Now for the last one, this is gonna be for Addy Dark's mittens.
That one, bro.
I'm about to say he's gonna roll it hot.
God damn!
Bro, where were these versus the Hydra, bro?
Where were they, bro?
Bro, they were
23, 22, and 21. Yo, bro, this man literally got a module for RNG. He rigged the dice. I don't know what happened. That's a little suspicious, bro.
Well, all I can say is God don't make mistakes.
Oh man. So good news is for the plate mail armors, you guys get full design and customization on how you want that to look. It looks pretty much however you want it to exactly your taste and liking. Because I'm not gonna, if you rolled like crappy, then that would have been a different thing. It's like, it's a little bit dinged up or whatever, but nah, it's almost not perfect, but close enough. Now with the gauntlets.
We'll have to do some new art for Zora then. She's gonna have some samurai looking Egyptian armor.
There we go.
He made Azora's look super nice. He got her design input is whatever she wants, bro.
Yeah. There we go. So with that, we go towards the gauntlets, the mittens. So here's what they do. Let's make sure I got this right. For the gauntlets. Now, what was the, Addy Dark, if you can remind me, what was the purpose for these gauntlets? What were you trying to have them do? Anything special or just like look cool?
No, we actually had a rune they were trying to give me, but I didn't have any weapons or anything. So we're like, oh, if I get gauntlets, we can then...
Well, I have to first learn how to take the rune off of this weapon before I can even put it on there, so there's still some time for that.
Yeah, the whole...
Is that the sword that Gore found? Are you talking about that one?
Yeah, the whole mythos of it was just like, hey, can we make gauntlets so we can put a rune on it? I guess it was just rip, bro. Like, I just want to be flossing out here. I want runes.
This is... I have a question. This is just... Tell me if this is too much.
Yep.
After seeing Addy Dark in combat...
I also forgot the one thing that we talked about, Chris. Hold on. I'll DM you that sort of thing.
Hold up. yeah, for these gauntlets, after seeing Addy Dark in combat, he's curious if he saw Addy Dark in combat, he saw him with haste, and he's curious if he can like beat him up to maybe get a extra attack. Like he's seen like a flurry of blow type thing. So like he's seen. So that's what he's thinking. That's what he would try to do to make him more efficient.
So yeah, I want him to have permanent haste. With
Well there. I'm not saying that that's not possible right now. Though. Shit.
Maybe over time.
That was such a. I'm gonna ask the question because I'm gonna ask the question.
You do not know Zaman is a red mage.
Perma haste.
He's giving it perma haste.
Oh, again, as I said, it's not out of the question in the future, but that is going to be a very, very powerful rune.
Fair enough.
You might have to go on a whole adventure for that rune.
God damn.
Trying to get. He just wants the gauntlets to be able to speed up his attacks. Is what he was thinking.
Bro, I'm just imagining like what happens if all of Soulbound figures out that perma haste rune. Bro,
Every single person.
It's gonna be a whole. That thing's gonna be sold on the black market, bro. Hell no.
Remember,
Hey,
Valiant Dreams made it first.
We gotta get that economy going somehow.
Shit, you're gonna have Zills and Nox looking over like, hey, Agni, hey, you got more of those haste spells? Like,
Permanent haste blows. Crazy.
Oh man.
Everyone's just gonna be zooming around.
So make sure I got this right. Were you just Addy? Were you looking just for damage? Were you just looking for aesthetic? Were you looking for anything special? Sorry about that.
Oh, well, I was trying to keep it within canon of Zaman's request, so I guess I'm looking to increase the speed of my attack.
Increase the speed of your attack. Gotcha. All right. So for that, here's what it'll need to do. You'll probably want to Zaman. You probably want to take that over towards Mao. He's the only person that's capable of like enchanting things a little bit magically without needing the mana generator or the runed carvings themselves. So if you want to go do that, pay him for a little bit of his time, then yeah, you can do that easily.
Yeah, he'll do that.
All right. Sort of walk over towards Mao as he's sort of coming out from sort of respective sort of house and more. So he's kind of yawns and gets ready to start packing up his things and heading towards the wall to get to work on sketching.
Hello.
Hey, Zaman,
how you
how's it
doing,
going?
Mal? Nothing much. So I just finished designing these gauntlets for Addy Doc. They came out pretty well. I want them to speed up his attacks. I feel like if he can have more throughput, he could be more effective in combat.
Yeah, I can take a look at them. Seems like a couple well-made gauntlets. Nice design. Just give me a bit of time, and I can work on these things. Just have them come over to me, and I'll pass them when I'm done. I think I can maybe make them do a little bit more of a better punch, as well as sending them out faster and stronger.
Great. You know what?
I don't know if this is up his sort of wheelhouse, but actually, you know what? Nope. Just tell him I have a couple other plans if he's interested in these gauntlets that I think that he might like or he might hate. But we'll have that conversation later.
Cool. Okay. I'll let him know. Also, it'll be interesting. He has this like thing where he's able to, with his fist, push things. Increasing that range would be probably effective as well. Just a thought.
All right. Oh, that being said, we'll see as Mao nods. And Zaman, is there anything else you'd like to do?
No, he's going to cast water breathing ritual once everybody is together. It's like 10 people he can affect, so he's going to affect the main people going on the hunt, and then anybody else who may be near water today.
Gotcha. Well, you probably want to wait till you're getting ready to go on the hunt, unless that is what you guys are doing right now.
No, he's going to wait for everybody to like wake up and do it before they leave.
Alrighty. We go towards Addy Dark. Addy Dark, is there anything else you need to do for the morning, or are you heading to the hunt?
I'm good to hunt.
Alrighty. Typically we go to Agni, Azora, and Gore. Gore, is there anything you needed to do beforehand before going out on this hunt, or nah?
Yeah. Gore is doing a small prayer. He has debts to pay.
Okay. All right. What does this prayer sound like, bro?
Gore's prayer.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me drag you into the house. Let me make this thematic.
Let me try to zone it correctly. I have to go from Gore's perception, so he'd be like, so Gore would sit down and he would just be kind of like focusing, and he would be like, hear me, slithery one. Hear me, Phoenix. Gore has done well. Gore has crushed, but he still has a debt to pay. Phoenix taught Gore long ago in the Fade that you only pay the sparkly ones back with tricks. And she will get the best trick when Gore gets back his axe. And keep it simple.
And with that, as you begin to do so, make a religion check for me, Gore.
Jesus, let's see how that goes.
16.
Oh,
not bad.
That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad.
Oh, actually, you have advantage. You're a blood hunter.
Oh, just in case, throw that in there. In case some wild shit happens,
Nah,
we'll take that 16.
So with that, as you begin to say this prayer, you begin to slowly start summoning forth, and you notice as your eyes begin to start shining that this strange purple light and more. Slowly you're writhing, you'll see underneath this strange bed will be several sort of serpents. Some blue and white in nature, others purple and more. As they begin to wrap and coil, you notice as one of them wrapped in their tail seems to have the axe of Dindar once more. The axe itself, though wicked and jagged with the strange eye imbued upon it, you see as it's a little bit different from when you last had it. You see as there are glitters, sparkles, even a little bow tied on top of it, as well as well, no, I wouldn't have all of that because that would probably go away. But you see as it's been pretty much feified, to say the least.
The sparkly ones and their tricks. Just another gift for Gore. And Gore would leave it on for aesthetics. I guess he would. Yeah.
With that,
and he reached down and grabbed the axe. Yeah.
As you begin to grab the likes of the axe and more, it doesn't even have to touch the likes of the palm of your hand. It almost like a magnet just flies directly towards its rightful owner immediately. As this begins to occur, you sort of holster it for the time being. And for some strange reason, you feel as if you're being watched. You're not entirely sure what it is. You almost look around behind you as if something or someone's there. Before you see far off out onto the side, a small black crow watching you from this sort of or through the window. You see as their eyes are red, similar in nature towards the god of deception. As he looks on, and he approves. With that, you gain a bit of piety, Gore. I will add that to your character. There we go. Piety with that. Also, a core. I need to update that. So, okay. That Gore, you feel as if you're, or for some strange reason, blessed once more, not only by the snake but also by Phoenix. As he begins to look on towards you in affirmation. That, do you ready yourself for the hunt and join the others?
Of course. And Gore looks at the crow and Gore will not let you down. He will crush Helioid. Helioid, right?
Yeah.
You have blessed him again. And Gore would look back at him. Did I trick the sparkly one well?
You'll see as the individual or this small sort of raven begins to sort of flap closer towards the window, not getting too close to even be able to speak, but you see as it begins to roll closer to a nearby tree and begins to continue looking on.
But and said, Gore will crush. Gore will crush. And he just walks his way out, smiling, feeling good about himself.
And with that, you head out and you get ready for this hunt. So, as you all do, you begin to grab the likes of Trog, you grab Zaman and Natty Dark, and one by one you travel forth through the forest as Trog leads the charge.
Whoa. Before he left, he would have cast water breathing as a ritual on
How long
that
does water breathing last?
8 hours.
8 hours. Okay, yeah, I got you then.
Yeah, so it would have been on him and probably Agni and Korra, because he thinks they're going near the lake and he doesn't know if they need to go inside the lake, so he probably would have cast it on them as well.
Okay.
So
You think Agni's going in a lake?
No, but Korra might.
Agni will die before that happens.
Yeah, I know. You
Literally.
a spell for this man walking in a lake? Agni ain't walking in no lake, bro.
You know, just in case.
All jokes aside, would Agni walk in a puddle? Like, would he stomp in a puddle, or is that not?
Yeah,
Right.
he would. It's very specific what triggers him, but no one is axed.
I see. Alright. So, with that, as you cast the likes of the spell, eventually, for the sake of brevity, Trog will begin to sort of stop you as you guys are a couple minutes out. And you all will begin to start stealthing closer and closer towards this sort of, kind of a water area, kind of a river, if you will.
And
Or
at that moment, he's going to cast Pass Without Trace as they approach.
Question, is Pass Without a Trace concentration or no?
It is concentration.
Is water breathing concentration?
Nope, water breathing is a ritual.
That's weird. I guess actually that makes sense. Now that I think about it. Alrighty, so as you begin to cast Pass Without a Trace, you would all notice, and I'm about to show you guys the map in just a second. Well, here I can just show you it now. Alright, hold on. Okay. Bam. Alright, where you two are still hidden. So as you guys are sort of approaching this area, as Zaman casts the likes of the Pass Without a Trace, you notice as the minerals themselves begin to start rising out from the ground, begin to start attaching themselves to each and every one of your allies. As this sort of occurs, you notice as the minerals begin to almost completely coat them for a moment before their visages begin to completely vanish as you all are invisible. I've always wondered this, but I mean, if not, then I'm just gonna rule it this way. With Pass Without a Trace, can you see each other? Like, all the people affected by it, or?
You can, so it's more like...
I think with this party, you shouldn't be able to see each other. I feel like that's with these guys.
Yeah, you could all see each other. It's more like you're silencing, like, the area around. It's kind of like silence, but it's like a little bit different, right? It's like the way I see it from Damon's perspective is like he's using like the minerals and he's like manipulating the minerals so that like their footsteps and everything else is like absolutely untraceable and unheard. Like they're not making any sounds.
Gotcha. Because Eddie mentioned it. Do you want it to be where you guys can't see each other and you gotta figure out how to SEAL Team 6 this shit?
No.
I mean, but it's basically just a cloud around you, right?
Let me read the spell for show.
I thought pass out of trace. That's what makes it different from invisibility. It's almost like you're moving like a cloud of like while you're around me, people can't necessarily see you. Or you get what I'm saying?
A veil of shadows and silence radiates from you, masking you and your companions from detection. So it's like it's less. I see it less as like a cloud and more like he's like manipulating the area around him so that like there's no detection, right? Like he's muffling their sounds and footsteps, so that it's very hard for them to be detected or tracked using his mineral form, essentially. That's how I envision
So it's
it.
still,
But
like,
but as long
possible
as we're
to-
within that 30 feet, though, right? That's what it is,
Yeah.
right? We
As long
got
as you're
that
within
same
30 feet
radius.
of me.
So like
Yep.
it's still possible to be found. It's just a lot harder to do so, right?
Yeah, you get a plus 10 to stealth checks, essentially.
So speaking of which, let's get some stealth checks in now, as you guys are all beginning to approach. Now, on top of this, you have a plus 10 to this roll, so we'll just add it on after the fact. All right, so Traw here. Oh God. So 17. That's gonna be a 27 for him, and he rolled actually bad with that one, so that's crazy.
Zaman just walking around creaking.
I was at
Alright.
disadvantage, so it's a 15 for me.
Oh my God,
That heavy
there's the
armor on.
choo-choo train. God damn it. Oh man, a Zaman classic. So that's gonna be a 15 for for Zaman, a 24 for Addy Dark, and then a 31 for Gore. God damn. All right.
As far as it's concerned, Gore is. I mean, it's only perfect
I'm just
cannon wise.
fight these guys so quickly. It's like I'm not even here.
Also, all right. So make sure I got this right. We forgot to do one little thing. Well, I guess it's he's still probably working on it anyway. So, all right. Well, with that, let's look over. Gore, Zaman, Addy Dark. As you look to find, you notice as this small little area has a couple of unique things to it. Besides there being, a lovely sort of forest with bits of greenery, flowers, and more, you notice as it has a sort of, a small sort of island pass off to the side. In order to get to it, being these multiple bridges where there is a strange shrine atop the area next to sort of cherry blossom trees. With that,
You know, Gore loves his shrines.
Wait, you said did you say burial ground for Addy Darks?
As long as you know, bro. As long as you know.
I'm not sure what you said there. Did you say a plot of
Oh,
land
boy.
where we can bury Addy Dark or a shrine? I'm sorry, I couldn't.
Oh man. But besides that, there is two things of note that you immediately see with no roll needed, as they are very apparent. You look over and you find as there are two massive beasts of strange nature and size. You look over and they seems to be on, or both of them seem to be on all fours. One is made out of fur and feather. The second one seemed to be robotic in nature. Now, the thing about them is they have these sort of, most of you guys know what this classic D&D monster is, but you notice as it has these sort of strange bear-like claws, but the face of an owl itself. You see as it is very, very large and hulking. With each step it takes, a little bit of the area begins to sort of shake and more. But there also seems to be another individual that's completely robotic with this strange sort of blue force field over them. That you see an owl bear and another robotic owl bear with this strange sort of dome. They seem to be sort of looking about the area and kind of just sort of eating a bit of fish. But the robotic one seems to just be sort of lying down on the ground, not interested. What would you four like to say or do?
Zaman is gonna say, "We will approach slowly. I'm going to enter my mineral form and try to tame the mechanical one. If the other one tries to attack me as I'm doing this, I will need you guys to defend me."
Gore's gonna be like, Gore was only gonna give you enough time that it took for me and the furry one to kill the regular one. Then we come for the meta one.
At least let me approach first, and then you can do whatever you want with the regular one. But let me approach the mechanical one first to try to tame it before you attack the fairy one, as you called it. More feathery, I think it's to be more accurate.
Zaman, why approach to tame robot?
This is so we can, one, use it, and two, learn from it to potentially either create more or know how to destroy them quicker.
I see. Why not have robot come to us, or you? Rather, you go to it.
That's a great idea, Trog. How do you propose we do that?
Distraction or lure.
Okay. I'll let you take the lead then, Trog. And you see Zaman enter his mineral form. He's gonna follow Trog's lead on how to get this creature over here.
Need something loud, but not too loud. What have? Then he looks over towards you all.
And he's like, "Where do you need it?" What would I don't remember what I called Trog. It's been so long.
I don't know actually.
I don't think Trog got a name.
He doesn't even have a name, bro. Jesus.
I'm not even being funny. Like I legit don't think he got a name.
Could just be Scaly One.
I thought about Scaly, but I feel like it almost disservices him. We'll see if it changes after this fight.
Scaly One
Point where you need it, Scaly One.
Okay. He's gonna look over and judge. Well, I guess this will determine things. Which one you want? Looking towards the mom.
I want the mechanical one.
Okay.
Ah, Zaman, that's all you had to say. I'll go drag it over here for you.
No, Addy Doc. We need to be cautious. We need to try to tame it before we engage and try to fight it.
Ah, yeah, taming. I know how to tame perfecly, man. Follow my lead.
Just wait. Addy Doc. Addy Doc. Just give Trog. Yeah.
I am out of stealth range now, doing my own thing.
Oh no.
Trog.
Hold on.
If
Stop right
Scaly
there.
One doesn't talk, it's the Scaly One.
About right here. So, I mean, he's trying, but Addy Dark's gonna keep going. Trog is going to say, well, first, he will say this before you make your stealth check. Wait, come back. You can make distraction, but follow lead in less danger. Choice is yours on whether you want to listen, Addy Dark.
Would Trog said that to me?
Yeah,
it was Trog.
I feel like I have like no relationship with Trog until this moment.
I think Gore would yell over. Well, not yell over to him. I mean, without a trace, we could still talk within it. I guess he would have been like, furry one. We already know how to hunt proper. Let's see what the greedy one and the scaly one have. Then we'll clean up the mess.
When has listening to Gore ever got me into the situation?
Hey, bro. The man speaks from his heart. He speaks from his heart. Speaks from his heart.
Oh my God.
At high cost, we've had 2 successful hunts? 3?
So let me see. So Trog would have to be. I had to be like 30 feet away because I would still be in range for. Where's that 30-foot mark? So I'd be like right there. Yeah. All right. I'll appeal to Trog, I guess. Actually, can Trog? You know what? Better yet, can Trog like roll to see if I like believe he's actually a good hunter?
Sure. I will say. So, I'm going to chalk this up to. He's gonna make a survival check. So he's gonna make a persuasion check, but he's gonna add a survival modifier on top of it. So he has a +9 in survival, but he's gonna have a -2, so it's gonna be a +7. So 13, so +9, so 22.
Oh, very convincing. Very convincing. All right, let's see how he can hunt. Let's do this.
All right. So he's at first he's looking and asking if anybody had anything that could be loud. If not, well, first I'll let you guys see if you got anything.
Scaly One Gore told Scaly One to point where he needs him to make the sound.
All right. If no one have anything loud, I can use this. He's gonna grab this wheel and sort of start carrying.
Oh no. Gore is not trying to do that. Gore is trying to cast minor illusion, and he's over here trying to wow. Gore is trying to be sensible. Just point, Scaly One. Just
Oh,
point.
he already pointed. He'd been pointed. He pointed a long time ago.
Where was the point? We had a whole bunch of go over there. You didn't mark where he pointed.
Oh, he's pointing over towards the bush, basically off to the side. You can't really see it because the map or whatever. But
okay. And Gore would be like, "What kind of sound do you need to hear, Scaly One?"
Do of animal of sort of this is me, this is DM thinking. Trog is a lot faster with this. What animal makes a sound or whatever? You'll just say that. Any animal that makes sound that would be considered prey.
Owls like mice.
Yeah. I don't know. Would it sound like a big mouse? Just whatever Gore would know that they would hunt. He would cast minor illusion over there to make that loud sound of it happening. And right before he does it, he's like, "Then what, Scaly One? We can't move as slow as you talk." Oh, I think he's already getting his name. It's coming.
Get in position, Zaman and Adi. When bear gets close to bush, grab, restrain, kill. Or you, Zaman, can talk and try to tame away from other bear. Separate two and divide and conquer.
Excellent plan, Trog.
So, with that,
in position. Is this a bush?
Yeah. So it's just another thing. All four of y'all make stealth checks if you guys are trying to reposition over to here.
Okay.
B.
Let's see how this goes. As long as it still works.
Oh God!
But we still get the +10, right?
You still got the +10.
Yeah. Fancy shit. All you gotta do is just beat up some prey, bro. That's all you gotta do.
So 39, 20, 39, or excuse me, 29, and then 30 will be able to help you guys out tremendously because it's a group check. All right, so it's 2 successes, 1 failure, another success. All right, y'all are good. You eventually begin to sort of, so who's going over towards the bush? I believe it's Zaman and Addy Dark, just in case. Gore, you heading over towards the bush as well?
Oh yeah, he's staying within range of his thing.
Oh yeah, that is true. So Trog is going to kind of hide in the bushes, get low to the ground, put some dirt on him, to make sure to blend in. And with that, you'll see as I believe Gore begin to cast the sort of little bit of the illusion and more, and draw the sort of owlbear off to the side. As you begin to do so, you'll see as it begins to start almost how you see, not necessarily screeching, but you'll see as it begins to go and begins to start slowly moving over with each sort of mechanical sort of gear turning and more. Gets closer and closer towards this sort of bush before eventually the first thing that he sees is Amon's face. This owlbear is just eating some fish, so he's completely distracted. He's not caring at all what's going on. But Zaman, you see as the sort of robotic owlbear begins to almost peer through the bushes, and he looks over towards you, and you see the massive sort of owl face getting ready to go hostile unless you do something about it. What do you say, and what do you do?
You see Zaman. He's gonna try to get in tune with not only his mineral form but his druidic side, and he's going to try to tame the beast. So he's gonna try to use his mineral form to kind of like rub it and like get his confidence that he's friendly to it.
That being said, make an animal handling check for me. Oh God.
That's really a perfect way to fail. Got a perfect way.
I will add my Oracle's Insight to see if that can save it. 15.
So hold on, make sure I got this right. Yeah. So with a 15, you look over towards the individual, and as you try to press your hand upon it, it begins to look over at you, Zaman. And you notice as, at first, it seems to be not necessarily reacting. It looks towards you, almost scanning you for a brief moment, judging your form, understanding what you are. As it begins to do so, you notice as his eye begins to sort of start flickering for a brief moment. Make a perception check.
B.
Natural 20 for a total of 27. Good stuff. So, as you begin to look towards its eyes, you notice as it's sort of changing from nothing but a voidless black to that of a sort of flickering sort of light, a flickering red. Something about it is looking at you, and it's changing its sort of form and intentions. You notice as from what seemed to be a sort of passive or docile state, you look over as it's getting ready to sort of start roaring directly at you and make a giant sort of swipe. With your perception check, you're able to quickly react. You can use a reaction or a quick bonus action if you will. This thing is getting ready to hit you, buddy.
Yeah, he's going to, since he's made of metal, he's going to use his reaction to reduce. Let me see. I gotta remember what these features are. He's going to reduce its attack.
All right. So as you get
Constitution saving throw.
As you get ready to reduce this attack, Constitution saving throw from the individual, as you see as it begins to rust over slightly. 15. Does that fail or succeed?
The DC is my spell save DC, which I believe is 15 right now.
So that means
Yeah,
it will succeed. That being said, as it gets ready to strike out over towards you, Addy Dark, Trog, and Gore, you look over as it's getting ready to go hostile. Trog sort of nods over towards Addy and Gore. It's time to attack. But before you guys do so, you look towards our other individuals further in the valley. Let's go over towards Agni at this moment in time. And we'll pick back up over here in a bit. So, meanwhile, back in the village, Agni, what are you doing?
I guess if it's morning, there's just two main things. There's obviously the stuff with the runes, but I guess early morning he would find Cora so we can go try and purify the lake up north.
Alrighty. So you go find Cora and more. For the sake of brevity, you gather up that individual. Do you gather anybody else, or is it just you two?
Philo might be interested, so he would ask Philo if Philo wanted to come and was interested.
Yeah, he'd be fine with that. Alright. So
I guess while we're walking on the way there, Agni does want to ask Cora, did you find what you were looking for with the cat, Cora?
I believe I did, or at least some of what I'm looking for. Outside of character, because you didn't. I'm gonna get the rest of the information from you later.
Yeah.
So he basically, whatever you're going to tell me then, some of it is what she's gonna tell Agni.
So you, in or out of game, remember the events of everything that happened in Sands of Sin, like specifically that whole scene with elves and yada yada yada, right?
Yeah.
So basically, it's that, or Cora is going to retell all of that sort of scene in what she saw.
Right.
Besides that, what was the other thing? You would have.
She's gonna keep it basic in general. Like, she wouldn't give too much details at this moment because they're like, she's gonna tell Agni eventually, but right now she's going, because there's so much to talk about, and Agni lost his memory too.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
She's just gonna keep it brief for now.
All right. Okay, I was just also reading pings from way earlier. But yeah, so as you begin to sort of mention this, that is pretty much what is conveyed towards you, Agni.
Yeah, works for me. He would just kind of take the CAD and just kind of put it back up on his shell where it normally is at.
She would also note that in her mind, in her head, one of the voices, Nafiba, has been asking questions. So I needed to use your cat to find some answers.
Even if it's all in your head, be careful what you say to her. She doesn't seem the same as before. However, we don't know what magics might linger within her.
Absolutely. I will only give her certain details, but I won't give her the good stuff.
No, I think it'd be best if we use the large abundance of medicine we have on top of maybe Philo being here to help purify this lake we have up here. In doing so, I think we would provide two different benefits. Perhaps a place we could expand to in the future, and maybe gain some favor with the Sewer King, as he's trying to clean up the place, as he says.
I see. Now, personally, I'd wish that this place remained the same, but I know that compromise must be made. And if you all are to live here, you'll need to actually be able to breathe. So I will assist in this endeavor.
In doing this, we can allow the natural gases of where we came from to remain. But we do need to bolster our forces, and not everyone has your biology to survive. This is going to be a step to allow multiple individuals to be able to live with us.
Actually, on that note, you two, well, I guess everyone in general, but what is it that you, well, ultimately seek when it comes to this sort of village? What is your grand scheme or design? Is it a place of, I don't know, a safe haven for anyone? Or is it simply building up a force to fight the dynasty? What are you trying to accomplish with the likes of this alliance and the knights in the village? And you can be honest, you know me, I'm not one to tell. I have no reason to. Besides, I'll be dead and gone in about 2 years, so,
For me personally, I think you hit the nail on the head with both actions. I do want to build a place where people can gather under our banner. A place where they don't have to worry about making the difficult decisions on will they have food or water. A place where we can combat anyone who challenges us, whether it be the ops or the dynasty or even any newcomers that might come in. I tend to take these lands for my own, make the tough decisions others will not. I want to build something that will not fall.
that may be true, and don't think that you're getting out of this conversation either, young Cora, but a question to ask you, Agni. Do you believe yourself to be fit or capable of doing so now? Or do you think that, how I say, a refinement, whether it be in the knights or the sort of structure, or even your own character would be in
I
order.
was born to lead and rule. However, that does not make me perfect. There's things I want to learn. And this is going to be a step in stone to continue on my path. If I cannot provide a place where people feel safe, then I am no leader.
I see. And what of you, Cora? What do you seek to get out of this village, or what are you trying to build with it? A kingdom? A safe haven? What exactly?
Well, I wouldn't say a kingdom or a safe haven, but I want the village to be as strong as I believe that it can be. And if purifying or expanding this area will have that be, then that's what I would like to try to do.
You say strong, but what do you mean in strength? As strength has many forms. Physical strength, or something else?
Well, physical strength is important, but I also believe mental strength is just as important, if not more. So as long as we're here to help guide them mentally, then they will believe that they can be guided physically. And I think that's the key.
I see. Well, remember what you both want, as well as the others want. And try not to steer away from that path. Remain consistent, and I'm sure people will respect you about it. Change your way too many times, and speaking from experience, some individuals won't take too kindly to that. Regardless, we are here now. What is it that you wish for me to do?
I think what we planned on doing was trying to pour some of your magic, along with a large amount of medicine, into this lake. I believe that also communicating with our gods for their blessing could potentially put us on the path of purifying this water for us.
I see. Well, we'll see as Philo begins to sort of clutches the little mana staff. With that, let's get to work then. He's going to start probably heading towards a little bit of the central portion of this area, kind of towards the path and more. And he will begin to almost, not necessarily sit down crisscross, but he will get at least low and try to get close, or as close to the soil as he possibly can. And he'll begin to start looking through or trying to figure out which spell would be the best for this sort of point in time. I believe he can use this pretty well. Cora, do you have, what is within your wheelhouse? What do you, we have medicine, we have our gods, but what can you and Agni provide in this occasion? Magically wise, at least, if anything.
Oh shit! You know, we forgot to transfer my D&D and Beyond shit.
Oh, I got you. I can swap that on over. Also, I gotta get that.
But she would say, she will say that I have the ability to purify, to help purify this water.
Perfect. It will be essential in this sort of thing. And of you, Agni, do you have anything of this sort of
My
nature.
my magic was never intended for purification unless through the means of fire. I'm here as Karametra's will to help restore some of the balance to these lands.
Very well. With that, you'll see as Cora, or are you casting Purify Food and Water?
Yeah.
All right. As you begin to do,
While she's,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, while she's casting that, could Agni like take the medicine, and sort of like fly over this lake and kind of try to evenly distribute it around, while
Yeah.
like they're beginning to cast that spell before he comes back?
Easy enough. As you begin to do so, as you're spreading this sort of, or the medicine and more evenly throughout the water, even onto the likes of these sort of plants that are corrupted or tangled and distorted, you'd notice as between the likes of Philo, bits of the land and more begins to start changing and altering. One moment, let me pull this up. Where is it? No. No, where is it? I think it is here. There we go. You will notice as bits of the sort of corrupted mushrooms and more, they begin to start almost dying and withering away, and you notice that the water begins to become more and more clear with each sort of minute, each hour passing. It takes a long time, a very, very long time, but in the process, let's get some rolls in. So Philo's going to be helping out with this, with the little check, but he's gonna make a wisdom check for him. Cora, you're gonna need to make a wisdom saving throw, and for Agni, I have something else for you. We'll get to that in a minute.
Before we roll, Agni does want to pray to Karametra alongside Cora.
You got it. So, with that, if there's any prayers that you guys need to say out, you can go do so. Or if you want to just chop it up to, I basically pray to my god, and then boom, we go from there.
Oh no, of course not. So after Agni comes back from flying over the water, and Cora like finishes her spell, he's going to look to Cora and ask, although we have different gods, would you mind joining me in prayer to whatever you wish to say to Auroraverse?
I would love to.
So Agni kind of sits down, and as he does, he puts the scythe on the ground. As he does, his runes, usually bright red, go a little bit dimmer, a little duller than usual, as he's sort of embracing a little less of his infernal heritage side for the time being. And as he like closes his eyes, the words start to come to him as he begins to ask for Karametra's blessing and guidance. You hear him say, "Blessed, serene, eternal goddess Karametra, me and my allies stand before this body of water, asking for your blessings."
So, Cora, she puts her kabubu down, and then you just see like her belt with Aurora's symbol on it just glows, and then she will say, "Noble, strong, wise God, we stand before this body of water, asking for your blessings."
This new area, we now take the first steps in purifying the water. To those that follow the ways of the Voden Knights, might have clean water and a place to rest.
Strength, your power, is what I ingest, which will allow me to help purify this lake the best.
Your guidance will hopefully allow new allies to find and join us under our banner, to add to our forces as our enemies become quite vast.
And hopefully they will join us under one banner. And if not, then they're against us and will meet thy warhammer. Within the hours, our enemies are growing fast, but with your strength against us, I know they won't last.
allow your power to wash over ourselves in this area, providing us not only with a bountiful harvest, but your strength to continue to defend our land.
As your champion, I devote my heroic to you, Auroraverse, to help my companions with our goal for expansion. The Voden Knights are the finest. However, I am nothing without your guidance. I hope I'm your biggest fan. Thank you for guiding me by giving me your hands.
That. Oh, were you trying to say something, Sean?
No.
And with that, you begin to look as the entire area begins to start shifting and changing for a brief moment in time. You notice as both of you begin to start glowing with a strange divine light. Cora's, yours is vibrant and more. Agni's, you begin to see as this strange... It's not necessarily a light. It's more of vines and sort of greenery begins to wrap around you for a brief moment, similar to whenever you use the Karametra's protection ability. As the wildlife begins to form amongst you. First, we already got Philo's roll. Cora, make your wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Okay.
You also have advantage.
Shit, I wish the advantage button option right.
It is alt. Natural 20. God damn.
It's cold easy, man. Dude, Auroraverse, bro.
That's right. That is Auroraverse. And with Agni, you begin to... Now let's see if this is if we're gonna get anything. Agni, I need you to make a persuasion check. You also have advantage because you were helped out by your allies. 22. Here we go. So, first things first before I get into this. One, Cora and Agni, you guys can take a DM's inspiration and all that good stuff. So there you go. Good stuff, good stuff. And secondly, this is what you hear. Begin to, or as the sort of spells are going off, Agni, you hear a voice, feminine in nature, enter into the likes of your head. As you begin to hear this woman speak, the goddess of harvest. Now, use your power, use thy blessing to cleanse the lands. Your fire may come from darker means. However, I'd be a fool to not understand that destruction is sometimes the precursor of creation. With your flames as they burn, your fire may promote a later growth. Harbor the destructive and creative power you contain, Agni, and use it to let life and protection flourish amongst these lands. And with that, you'll notice as some of the, or bits of your form begins to slowly feel warmer and than usual, similar to whenever you use a fire or flame-based spell. We're unsure of what this, or exactly the nature of this woman, but they speak with confidence, they speak with wisdom, they speak to you. For you, Cora, you hear as a more, how you say, a lack of better terms, heroic voice begins to speak, loud and boisterous but confident as ever, as you hear Auroraverse, the god of victory, enter. Stand tall and farewell, Cora. For your light, your strength will guide these lands and protect them forth. You take but only the first steps. The first steps of triumph. Continue as you do, and continue to stand tall, Not as a simple warrior of mine, but a true champion of valor. A true champion of victory. And with that, the blessings of your gods begin to go towards you all. And slowly, one by one, bits of the mushrooms, some of them begin to fade, but most of them remain. And the water in the areas is purified. Now, it takes a decent bit of your materials to do so. Let's see how much you guys are going to be left with. Let's go to the splash screen. Resources.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it was going to take 10 medicine, I think.
Yeah, I'm checking. Medicine. Yes, 10 medicine. So you guys are going to be left with 12 medicine.
Yep.
Alrighty. With that, that is what you two are doing for the time being. We go over towards Azora. Alrighty. Azora, what are you doing at this moment in time so I can go over to you this map?
Yep. So you could just put us right with like her and Hannibal. I mean, I figured during all this time she would have had the people go gather the shields, you know, kind of look over them, and then have each of, like, you know, some pick up the swords and strike the shields, and then they switch back and forth while she goes train with Hannibal.
Here we go. So let me move your tokens over here, and let me go grab the mic and the tokens. All right. It's a bit of a little bit of not too much space, but it's enough space for the time being. So as Gashir is sort of looking over about them, you'll see as he has a bit of sort of or wood, like you mentioned before, for him to bring, and he's sort of given it and distributed it to the likes of all of the mushroom and myconid individuals. They wield it, kind of trying to use it as a means of protection. Some struggle, but some are more, you know, akin to it and used to it in nature, typically being the bigger individuals. With that, you look over as you are training. So you're just what do you instruct them to do, or are they just practicing defense right now with Gashir leading?
Yeah, so like, you know, let's say if two are holding shields, two with either spears or swords attacking them, and then they just switch in and switch out, practicing defense.
You got it. As you begin to do so, every one of you in your respective regions and more, you would all begin to notice as it does start raining about, it's not necessarily thunderstorming like this map would suggest, but it is starting to pick up in rain. As this is sort of occurring, Gashir would try to instruct them as best as he can, as he just says, so what you're going to do is when you are struck, stand firm, stand tall, but make sure to try to stay in this kind of position or you might fall on your butt. And as he tries to convey this, I mean, he speaks as if it is calculus when it's just simple basic algebra. He speaks of basic techniques and forms as if they are very, very complicated or advanced and more. But at least they're learning the basics, you know? With that,
Yeah, that's what she wants, yeah.
you're training with Hannibal. What do you ask of him?
She'll say, the situation around us is changing fast. At first I realized gaining this new technique could be dangerous, but now I see the true danger is all around us, and we must stand to meet such a force with either an equal or greater force. I am not sure what is ahead, but what I am sure about is I'm not as prepared as I like to be. This technique you have, I turned it down at the time, but this lightning strike, I think I'm ready to learn it. I need to have as much of a versatile arsenal as my foes might have.
This is probably for the best, despite its danger. You've already taken the first steps in learning said technique, but I assume it is, well, considering it's been many days, if not weeks, since the last time we were able to prepare and train properly. I assume that you would be rusty in at least its technique. That said, we won't have to repeat everything, but we'll run you through at least the second portions of the training. Now, I will say one thing. Zora, though I may have, or how you say, learned the technique from my sensei, whenever it came to the sort of alteration of elemental magics or crimson rites, at least in my case, I called upon power from a past, one that is not of friendly or welcoming times, if you will. Because of that pain of the past hinders me in being able to use this consistently. However, luckily you do not suffer that same fate. When I train students, and I rarely ever do, I seek to use the mentality that my master once had. Train them to become better and surpass you. With this technique, you will be on the path of doing so. So, with that being said, is there any questions before we begin?
She just steps back and like removes her cloak and folds it and puts it down to the side, and she says, "The time for talking or deliberation is over. It is time to gain knowledge and to learn yet another lesson from you."
Very well. Now, back with the first lesson. Before you practice the Iaijutsu and more, you just went toe-to-toe with Gore, a smaller individual. Well, bigger in their eyes, but you had to practice precision. What they lack in sort of size, they made up well for in speed. Now it is time to strike an opponent that would be of typical size, but unnatural speed. I'll use the Crimson Rites, at least a brief portion of it. You duel me. All you need to do is simply draw the blade towards me in a killing position. Not hesitate, but do not obviously swing. You're not trying to injure each other before the fight, or before the tournament. This is simply to make sure that your reflexes are as honed as they could be. And with that, here's what we need to do. Alright, Azora, you look over as Hannibal begins to sort of put the sort of sheath off to the side and begins to place one singular palm onto the hilt of the blade for a brief moment. You see as he begins to sort of get into more of a defensive stance, as he begins to eye you for a moment. Mimic my stance. Watch for any sort of subtle movements, any sort of wrong breath, and as soon as you see so, draw your blade and strike. The first one to do so will win this exercise.
Can she use like her sword master techniques or just straight like rolls?
I'll tell you what, if you're using your sword master technique, I'll give you advantage on this dexterity check.
Oh, so we're doing dex checks?
Yes. If you want to argue another sort of like ability or anything like that, like I don't know, perception or investigation, to just describe how you want to use it, and then we can go with that.
Whew, yeah, definitely. Yeah, so she will she'll look like, yeah, she'll definitely go more. Well, so what she'll do is she'll eye him up and she'll see how he's moving. His mostly looking at his hand to see how it twitches or whatnot, and how his feet are angled to kind of see which way he'll come. She's looking to see if he strikes first, so she could go for a counter strike rather than her being. Actually, I meant to flip that other way around. She's looking for her to go in for an offensive strike for once, rather than counter striking. So she's definitely just studying him to see which way he moves, so she could just strike in an instant.
You got it. Make a perception check. You can do that with advantage because Oculi sight. Hannibal will make a simple dexterity check. Alrighty, let's go with that. 22, pretty good. 18, not bad. With that, you see as Hannibal begins to take a slight shift, and as soon as you even see that, or where his thumb would be, begins to slightly shift and move, Oculi sight coming into play, you begin to read all of his sort of body movements and more, as well as even a bit of his heat signatures, as you mentioned before with your Oculi heritage. As soon as this sort of happens, you see as he shifts and begins to draw the blade before immediately you draw yours. Blade is directly towards his neck, ever so faster than him. With that, you see as Hannibal looks over towards you and then kind of smirks for a second and says, "Good. Now again." With that, over the next couple of minutes, begin to practice Iaijutsu and more practice of drawing the blade. With that, you're able to complete the first bit of the training. However, for the second bit, Hannibal will look over and look towards the rain and say, "It seems to be that the storms themselves bless us. Before, you had to freeze over the likes of a waterfall. You trained for raw strength and power. Look at these water droplets in the sky. Now it is time for you to focus on precision and technique. Simply try to freeze the water using your blade or using your eye, one or the other. Try to freeze 5 if you can. Pick them out beforehand, freeze them, and make them drop on the ground. When you are done, show me. For now, I will help Gishir. Do you understand, or do you have any questions?"
She nods. So just to make sure, he says freeze 5 droplets before it hits the ground.
Pretty much, yep.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. What kind of roll would you want me to do for that?
So with that, well, depends. How is Azora trying to do this exactly? How would you imagine she would try, at least, or attempt it?
Then how would she freeze 5 droplets? I think she would. Damn, that's a great question. Yeah, that's a very good question. She would kind of count like I guess she would not really use a perception. She'll close her eyes and try to count how often she hears the water like dropping on her hand and her feet, and she's gonna like try to get like a diagonal slice to get like 5 in a row. So she's sitting there just like reaching out with her other senses besides her sight to kind of, she's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, like she's like counting it out as it's dropping, and it, of course it's irregular, so she's trying to get a pattern in that.
So with that, we're gonna chalk this up to a perception check, Azora. This won't be with advantage, but this will be a straight roll.
Yep.
17. It's not bad. As you begin to count over again, trying to make a cadence out of this sort of chaos in the rain, you strike forth. You're only able to get sort of 3 droplets after a bit of time. You strike again after a couple of minutes, practicing more and more, trying to get the cadence. 2 droplets, 4 droplets, 3, over and over and over again, but it's not enough. Every bit of time you try and try, it's going to take a lot more precision than that. This, you take a bit, you try to breathe for a brief moment, and as you try to almost stop listening to any other sort of senses, not focus on smell, not focus on really touch, but only focus on sound, no sight. You close your eyes, breathe once, and with one single exhale, you unleash a sort of vertical strike with the frozen Frostbrand blade. As it begins to connect with the likes of the water, you see as bits of the or bits of the air begin to almost freeze over for a brief moment in time. 5 water droplets completely frozen over, all on the ground. With that, he was successful in this leg of training.
Yeah, you see, as she does so, as she hears the 5 hit, she finally opens her eyes and look to see like the small, tiny pieces, on the ground. And then she looks up at Hannibal and Gashir training the recruits, and she feels happy for all the progress being made right now in this moment. Not just her, but even Gashir being a captain of sorts, and the recruits getting their training in.
With that, do you hand the sort of droplets to Hannibal?
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah. All right. So, I see that you've done so. Good work. I have good news, more business-oriented. The warriors themselves seem to be showing quite promise. However, what I am noticing is that they are, they need direction. Right now, they're only training for general purposes and general defense. Some are developing their own styles, but they're at least learning and honing the basics. I believe at this point, it might be worth testing them or helping them decide on what path they would like to go upon. And with that, here is the last leg of this sort of training for Azora before we head back towards Gore and everybody for the last bit of the session. So, Azora, you can get everybody else involved on this, or if you want to be this more so you. If you checked out Secrets in the Sands, you might have noticed these mechanics with Ilva and recruiting individuals, but the same are for Valley Dreams and training individuals. These 4 have made it through the likes of grunt training. And they are no longer just simple NPCs, but now they will become Myconid warriors of the sorts. You can choose, well, before we do so, you need to roll 3d100 and on a chance on whether they will be able to be promoted to level 1 or not. Right now, they're just level 0. You have a 65% chance due to all the training that you've done and the quality of said training to be able to, make them into actual warriors. So excuse me, not 3d100, 4d100. So if you can roll that for me, please. All you got to do is roll a 35 or higher. So 72, oh boy, 2, a 5, and a 26. Oh god. Ugh. Well, 1 out of 4, at least is 1. That being said, one individual will say...
Can we make it Riles?
We can make it, fine, we can make it Riles. We got it. Riles, this individual will be able to be promoted as you begin to judge each and every one of their forms, and you can choose their class. You can choose whether you want them to be a simple fighter, a rogue, a ranger, paladin, all that stuff, and you can decide that. All you gotta do is just let me know, and yeah, I'll get that to you. Also,
yeah,
oh god. Also, because of that, I'll get them custom art afterwards. So whether you want to find it or I can find it, doesn't really matter to me.
Copy.
All right. So while you're thinking about that, let's head over back to the hunt. That definitely did not go wrong. Alrighty. Let's see. Where are you guys at? Alrighty. So back over towards the sort of owlbear getting ready to maul Zaman. You look over, and with that, you see as the individual gets ready to sort of swipe and strike over towards Zaman as it begins to go up into this sort of bipedal form. It seeks to maul him to oblivion. Zaman is going to make one single attack roll, but afterwards, all of you individuals, Gore, Addydark, and Trog, can make attack rolls towards it. If you can subdue it in a bit of time or a short form amount of time, then you might be able to defeat it before this individual, the Northern Owlbear, takes watch or notice. Alright, it's going to make a claw attack towards you. Zaman 17 will miss as it strikes. You're able to sort of back out of the way, just barely as it sort of, or completely whiffs. With that, Adidark, Gore, Zaman, what are you three doing?
Zaman is going to try to resonate with the metal form of this bear and try to subdue it that way. He tried to do it peacefully. Now he's going to try to do it by force. And yeah, he's going to try to pretty much take over his form, his metallic form.
All right.
Yeah, I think before anything of that nature, Eddie Dark is going to make a move. Like the minute he swings, it's over. We're fighting.
Yeah, I'd probably assume so.
So what I would do is I'd rage, I'd move towards him, I'd shove him to the ground, and I'd make an epic comment and taunt, and then continue moving towards the other guy with the rest of my movement.
That being said, so that being said, are you trying to ambush this owlbear, or are you just trying to attack all of them?
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shove the metallic one, and then I'm going to then charge towards the meaty one.
You got it. So if that's the case, you're shoving this individual. So as you rush over, trying to shove them down, make a athletics check. They'll try to do so as well to resist. Athletics check. It's just gonna be a strength check for them. You also have advantage if you are raging. Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bro, they're about to get stiff-armed.
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna try. Hold up. I'm trying to rage first. I feel like this shit always moves for some reason.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh.
There it is. I'm losing my mind. So I'm gonna shift rage into Weretoad mode and jump into action, one might say. And when I spring over, I'm gonna shove him with a little drop kick to the chest.
Oh my god!
And moving fast.
All right, here, we're gonna just do this.
I forgot to roll. Sorry, I didn't roll the athletics check. My bad.
Yeah, let's get that going.
Yeah, my fault. Well, that was definitely a Gore tactic, bro. I've been hanging out with him too much.
All right, so 26. Yeah, you're easily enough able to sort of shove this individual off to the side as they begin to drop down, almost prone. You see as they immediately sort of tumble a bit. And Adidark, with that, you rush over off to the side. Go ahead.
Yeah. And then I guess I would turn to Zaman and say, if you can't tame something lying down, what use do you have? You've got to the meaty ones killed. And then I'd jump over to the last of my movement over there, as far as I can get over that way. Which I don't know how much I used to jump in. Sorry.
You're good. We're not in initiative just yet. This is just you sort of pushing them immediately, everything sort of happening all at once. So everybody gets a one quick little attack round. So that's your first attack. You do have a second attack if you want to swing.
I can wait for everyone to make their first attack, and I can do my second attack last.
You got it. Alrighty, so Gore, what are you doing at this moment in time as Adidark shoves the bear, begins to look over towards the mines. He's getting ready to sort of hostile take over this individual. The time to crush is now.
Yeah, he's gonna zoom right past this, but while he's going by, he's just gonna look over and say, "Greedy one, you're having to the meaty ones down." And that's all he's on. We on that swinging, give him the good wood 4, and Gore would come in and quickly cast his whatchamacallit, his right, and then get the bussin'.
All
so
right.
I just gotta
which one is it?
3d6, right?
Is it the Takamaru one, or is it the lightning one?
Lightning one for now.
Lightning one.
So
all
3d6,
right,
right?
No, it is 1d6.
1d6. Gotcha. So 1d6.
All right, so you only take 1 point of damage as you begin to draw blood from your wings. You watch as your weapon begins to slowly start surging with electricity and more. You fly over towards the owlbear and you make 2 strikes. Go for it.
Yep, that's the first one.
16 will hit, 13 points of damage. Just roll for the second one first, and then we'll roll the 2d6 afterwards.
Boom.
Oh, okay.
And then another one.
Yep. Ooh, natural 20 coming in. Another 13 points of damage. Also roll 2 more 2d6 on top of that, because those are gonna crit. So 2.
Oh, yeah, you got that.
And then 1 more. Nice. Oh, wait, hold on. Not the 2d6. I got it.
Oh, it's just one. It's just one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, just the one. So also thank you Blue Collar DM for the raid. Appreciate you guys. So as you begin to swing forth with the electrical axe of Dindar, you see as the eye begins to start shining forth with a bit of a purple light and even bits of purple electricity. It embeds itself into the owlbear as they begin to screech and writhe in pain. However, that is your action. That is your bonus action. I believe that's all you would have for this little ambush round. And with that, Addy Dark, you swing forth and you're drop kicking the legs of the owlbear as you rush over towards it. 21 to hit. Hold on, your dice is incorrect. So roll a d6 for me. Let me set that back up. Let's see. So that's gonna be max damage. Nice. All right.
You got to the medium ones done, bro. I didn't say how. That's all I said, bro.
Boom. Oop. Oh, I did +5, so it's gonna be -5.
For flavoring for me, I feel like I drop kicked the mechanical owl.
Yeah, this owl about to be in bad shape, boy.
Left over towards the medium one.
You might not even have a round, boy.
Hold on. What were you saying, Addy Dark?
No, I was saying for just like aesthetics and feel, I felt like I just shoved the mechanical. Gore zipped behind me, started hacking and slashing, and I immediately leapt in with just the drop kick afterwards. I felt like that's how the played out in my mind. You know,
I like it.
You got it. And hey, I mean, it's
back on the mixtapes for the streets, boy.
Trog's gonna try. Whether he'll hit or not, we'll see if he's been training enough, bro. Let's see. Let's play the good old-fashioned Aurora game. Can Trog hit an enemy, baby? All right.
Wait, so this is just a one arrow flying.
Well, he's not gonna use an arrow. See, the thing is, Trog has came equipped. He realizes that maybe throwing or shooting arrows isn't his thing, but maybe throwing daggers can be the way. He's gonna throw a couple. He's gonna throw the first one with advantage. 23 to hit. He does it. Oh my god.
Believe in yourself.
Yes, he does get sneak attack, bro. That's gonna be 12 points of damage to the individual. Holy shit, he killed somebody.
With confidence,
I see you, Troy.
Wait, is this a chance where I get to do how do I want to do this? Oh my god.
Yeah. First time ever.
It's not the first time Trog's killed somebody.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
First time I seen it, bro.
I set him up when we got ambushed by the Zhao Dynasty.
Oh, hey man, that's a mob though. This is an owlbear, bro.
This owlbear was not ready, boy.
Nah, bro. We taught Frog how to kill, bro. We gave him that killer instinct, bro. It's that Metal Records vibe, bro.
So here's what happens. You see, this owlbear, keep in mind, he was minding his own business. He was literally just eating some fish and then randomly just saw a giant sort of weretoad rushing over towards him, getting ready to drop kick him. A mad sprite with an axe on, like, surging with electricity, flying over. He strikes into him. The owlbear is just... He doesn't even know what hit him, as immediately 2 daggers begin to fly over towards him and strike him directly into the neck and one directly into the body. And with that, the owlbear begins to sort of fall over on its side as it screeches dead. And with that, that is all. All right, here's what we're going to do for the sake of it. Zaman, you're going to try to tame this individual, right?
Correct.
All right, here's what we're gonna do. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw and also describe exactly how you're trying to tame this sort of robotic beast in nature who's fighting back actively against you. If you're able to do so, then combat ends immediately and you guys are able to win this encounter in 1 round. If you don't, this owlbear is gonna go hostile and it's gonna start trying to kill you again. All right, how are you trying to tame this guy?
You see as Addy like knocks this thing prone, Zaban's whole body starts to course with the minerals, and he touches like the owlbear, and he's like basically trying to fuse himself with it to like get it under control. And he says, "You will belong to me. I control anything that's metallic. I control anything that's mechanical. Do you understand me?" As he's going to try to like pretty much take control of this owlbear.
All right.
That works.
Here's what I need you to do. Wisdom saving throw. 9.
Ugh.
Oh God. Any inspiration you want to use or anything like that?
I do not have inspiration. I don't think I have any.
Hey, Zaman.
What's up?
I feel like I know the answer already, but I will ask it anyways. I'll let you tame this owlbear if you do. If how do I word this? The minerals take over for a bit. That's all I'm gonna say.
Fair enough. Yeah, go ahead. I'm curious how this go come over. Go ahead and do
I
it.
saw that coming. Well, if that's the case, here's what I need from. Well, here's.
Yeah, and
what
sorry, one
happens.
thing. So wait,
Before-
he doesn't get advantage for being prone out of curiosity, or no?
Not really, because granted, all you did was shove it, but he's trying to literally take over its entire mind using minerals. Like he is.
So I can buy that. It's not like a physical.
Yeah, it's not like he's like pressing a button or whatever and like controlling. It's more of like, you know, that sort of thing. Alrighty. Here's what happens. Let me go pull this up just in case. Alright, yep, mineral connection. Just in case Zaman decides to press the red button, I was prepared. Here's what you hear.
He's gonna do it.
Zaman, as you begin to say that this form belongs to me, all of this sort of stuff, you watch as the minerals begin to start flowing around you for a brief moment. They start latching themselves onto this sort of owlbear, almost as if they're sort of tendrils even for a moment. As this happens, you begin to hear a voice kind of in your head. They begin to start saying in this sort of strange, guttural, monstrous kind of voice. As they begin to say this. Oh God, where is it? This one. Nothing belongs to you. But this body is mine for now. This is mine. And with that, Zaman, you begin to feel as if, for some strange reason, something is sort of writhing in and about you. You begin to start twitching for a strange moment before you notice as your hands begin and your arms begin to move without your own bidding, without your own control, with the one singular arm beginning to move forward, and the one astral arm or the remains of it begin to sort of lurch forward. You notice as the minerals begin to almost start crushing the owlbear, almost breaking it, almost trying to rip and tear it apart before it begins to start screeching into submission. And with that, you notice as for a brief moment, the eyes are no longer red, but they have a strange and familiar green mineral hue to them as they are under your control for the time being. Zaman, with that said, you watch as the minerals begin to flow around you, but something is wrong, something is strange. Make a charisma saving throw. Yeah, you don't get to make those often.
No, I know why he don't make them though.
Exactly.
I seen this.
Exactly.
It's comedy,
Oh, yeah.
charisma.
I pulled up his sheet one time only.
You already know that was gonna happen, bro.
I remember it.
Alright. So, I have bad news and worse news. I'll be honest with you. The bad news
got
is
no charisma, bro.
the bad news is you failed. The worst news is I won't tell you what happens. Even worse news,
Okay.
You gonna have to
Okay.
figure out next week on Valley of Dreams. Oh boy, it's time to have some fun. Oh boy, I want to just
You mean to tell me I get to roll initiative towards Zaman and it's actually canon?
This is gonna be a
I
fun
couldn't
time.
remember
I get to control Zaman.
Hold
Oh
on.
god. I've been waiting for this. But hey,
Never going on a hunt with this man again, bro.
I don't know why y'all invited him, bro.
Ever. Ain't nobody invite him.
Never, ever, 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 ever.
That's the second thing you try to tame, bro. It's over. You've lost it.
I
You get
don't
no chance to
know
tame
why you brought this man with you. I'm like, they're gonna just grab the materials. They're gonna bring it back to camp like they always do. No, they brought the scientist, the mad laboratory engineer into the fold.
Hey,
I'll tell you what's
it
gonna happen.
was gonna be done, bro. Yeah, it was gonna happen eventually, bro. It was always gonna happen.
Trog,
I think
Trog
there's one
is
thing-
definitely stepping up.
Sorry, just one
Trog
thing
is definitely
before we-
like main character now.
I don't know about that. Well, there,
I
well,
just
there.
want to be real honest with y'all before we leave session. Seeing all this, Addy then spits to the ground. Mechanical dogs. And then I'm ready to go, bro. Let's do this.
Alright. That being said, thank y'all for playing. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I'm gonna break down stream real quick, and then we'll come on back. I'm gonna throw it over to the lore challenge so you guys can start brainstorming on what that is. Alright. We're back. Alrighty, we're gonna throw. Give me 1 second, chat, and I got y'all. We're gonna have a little bit of a conversation. Let me drop the Bard bot out of their chat. Let me switch on over the overlays. Switch over to shorts and videos. Let's switch on to the launch screen for them, and then we can have our conversation. All right, there we go. So, hello everybody, welcome to the stream. For those of you guys who are just joining, my name is SenseiSuplex. For all of you guys who don't know, that being said, welcome, raiders and individuals who are able to join on into the fun. For those who don't know, I'm a professional dungeon master who runs a giant living persistent universe known as Project Aurora. Anybody can get involved, as all the games that we run, all 4 games and campaigns that I run, as well as all the games other dungeon masters run in the universe, can affect each other in big or small ways. You guys can also affect the sessions and more, as long as you have the loyalty points to do so. So I noticed as a couple of people, I think the reason why Inspo wasn't working before was because individuals who don't have enough loyalty points, the command doesn't say anything. I think that's why. So I think loyalty points have been working the entire time. It was just that was the reason why they weren't working for some individuals. So you're gonna want to make sure you tune into the streams. Maybe I can rig up a I don't know, a part of the command where it says, hey, you don't have enough loyalty points to do so. I think that, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So Funky, if you're new to the stream, that's why. But again, welcome. And also Wormboy, thank you for the follow. Speaking of which, if you guys are new, make sure to follow the streams as we do this sort of thing every single week and more. It's a lot of fun. And it's definitely a grand old time. You can even join the Discord and be a part of an awesome little D&D community. Alrighty, I think it's exclamation points, Dread, if that's what you're looking for. Alright, we're going to, do we raid into anybody? I don't think we raid into anybody. Actually, no, we do. We raid into, Haley, over on there. Alright, let's go get this ready. Haley, or no, party of 2, RPG. There we go. Alright, they're sitting pretty over there. Okay, so let's go thank our friends. I will see you guys again. Make sure to go like the video over on YouTube and make sure to follow me on all the socials and all that cool craziness. And I will see y'all there. All right, bye guys. Have a good one.